he says. The Grey says. It all starts with what I want. And what do you want? I ask. Your head, he says. Our eyes meet like two iron rods colliding, sending stinging reverberations through the body. A palpable discomfort even being near him, much less meeting those dead gold orbs. He's so young, my age, but there's a childishness to him, a curiosity despite the ancient cast of his eyes that makes him feel like a perversity. It's not that I feel cruelty and evil radiating from him, it's the feeling that crept over me when Mustang told me how, as a boy, he killed a baby lion because he wanted to see its insides to understand how it worked. You have a weird sense of humor. I know, but I'm so glad you get my jokes. So many prickly peerless these days. Duels, honor, blood, all because they're bored. There's no one left to fight. So gory damn tedious. I believe you are making a point. Ah, yes. The jackal runs his hand through his slicked back hair, like I've seen his father do. I brought you here because Pliny is an enemy of mine. He's made my life very difficult. Even penetrated my harem. Do you know how many spies of his I've had to kill? I went through so many servants. I'm not trying to make you feel sorry for me, he says quickly. I was on the verge of it. Understanding my plight, however, is how you will help me best. As of now, Pliny controls my father's favor, like a snake hissing in his ear. Leto is his design. Did you know that? I didn't. He found the darling boy, knew he would win my father's cold heart because he would remind father of my dead brother Claudius. So Pliny cultivated him, trained him, and convinced my father to adopt him as a ward, with aims of making him the heir. Then you come waltzing into our lives and disrupt Pliny's plan. It took 2 years to dispatch you, but patiently he did. Just as he did me. Now Leto will be my father's heir, and Pliny will be Leto's master. That hits me hard. I knew Pliny was dangerous. Perhaps I never really knew just how dangerous. So what's your plan? I glance around the room. Going to take back your father's favor with plebeians and pitchforks? As any gold with a decent education would know, there's a certain crime syndicate that runs things in Lost City. A vast criminal enterprise that, if you trace it all the way to the tip-top, is under the influence of the office of the sovereign of our little society. Octavia Aulun may seem the paragon of gold virtue, but she's got a fetish for the dirty stuff. Assassinations, organizing workers' strikes in her own arch-governor's domains, rigging appointments. Her handling of Lost City is no different. She and her Furies hand-picked the crime family leadership. These three individuals are her creatures. But here's the juicy kink. I've found certain members of that same organization who are restless. I frown. They don't like Loon. She's an onerous bitch. One who has spat in my father's eye and cozied up to the Bologna. But no, my champions don't think on that plane. They are low colors, Darrow. They're restless to be atop the shit pile. Why Lost City? I ask. What does it matter? It is merely a piece of the puzzle. I'm going to help these ambitious low colors move up for a price. When they are in power, they are going to kill off a menace that plagues the society. Ares and his sons. Chapter 8. Scepter and Sword. I go cold inside. The Sons of Ares? I wasn't aware they were so dire a threat. They're not yet, but they will be, he says. The Sovereign knows it. So does my father, even if it is not in vogue to say it aloud. The Society has faced terrorist cells before. Throw enough lurcher teams at them and they are dispatched easily enough. But the Sons are different. They are not a rat biting our heels, but a termite colony slowly gnawing our foundation as quietly as possible till they've done such work that our house crumbles around us. My father has given Pliny the task of eliminating the Sons, but Pliny has been failing. He will continue to fail because the Sons of Ares are clever, and because my media adores giving them attention. But when they become a thing so dreadful to society, to the Sovereign, to my father, that the very machine of governance grinds to a halt, I will step forward and say, I will cure this disease in 3 weeks. And then I will, with my media, with the syndicate systematically killing all the Sons, and with you gloriously beheading Ares himself. You want a figurehead. I am not glamorous. I do not inspire. You are like one of the old conquerors, charismatic and virtuous. When they look at you, they see none of the soft decadence of our meager time, none of the political poison that has saturated Luna since Loon's family rose to power. They will look at you and see a cleansing knife, a new dawn for a second golden age. Like father, like son, both targeting the Sons of Ares in similar ways. It's chilling thinking of the war that will rage between crime syndicate throat-cutters and Ares agents. It'll destroy the Sons. The Sons of Ares are only the beginning, a leverage point. You want to rule. What other ambition is there? But not just Mars. Just because I'm small doesn't mean my dreams have to be. I want it all. And to get it, I'm willing to do anything. What do you need? Even share. Perhaps you're not aware of what happened 2 months ago. I say, stop a gold anywhere and ask. They'll tell you what the Bologna family did to the Reaper of Mars. I have no reputation. The only thing I inspire is laughter. Cassius was shamed, the Jackal says in irritation. He was pissed on, beaten at the Institute, embarrassed. Now he's the deadliest jeweler on Luna. He fought any that would contest his worth, and now he's the Sovereign's favorite new pet. Did you know the old crow is making him an Olympic knight? Lorne our Arcus and Venetia our Reign both retired this year. That means the posts of Rage Knight and Morning Knight are open. She'd make him one of the 12. He is a piece on her board. The Jackal leans forward. But I tire of playing pawn to my elders. As do I. Makes me feel like a pink, I say. Then let us rise together. I the scepter, you the sword. You won't share. It's not in your nature. I do what I need to do, no more, no less. And I need a warlord. I'll be Odysseus, you be Achilles. Achilles dies in the end. Then learn from his mistakes. It's a good idea. I pause at his spreading smile, with one problem. You are a sociopath, Adrius. You don't only do what you need to do, you wear whatever face you need, whatever emotion you desire like a glove. How could I ever trust you? You killed Pax. I let the words hang in the air. You killed my friend, your sister's protector. Pax and I had never met before. All I saw was an obstacle in my path. Of course, I knew of the Telemanuses, but after Claudius got his brains splattered everywhere, Father split Mustang and me up to protect us, put me in even greater isolation than her. I was his heir. I had no friends, only tutors. He ruined my youth. And then he discarded me as he discarded you, because we lost. You and I mirror each other. A fight breaks out on the level above us. A scorcher cracks. Bouncers rush upward, cradling their own weapons. Most of the patrons sit undisturbed. What of your sister? I ask hesitantly, knowing deep down that I have no other options left but this one. Do you want to know how she fares? He asks plainly. Who shares her bed? I can give you whatever answers you want. My eyes are everywhere. I don't want that. I shake my head, trying to banish the dark idea of someone sharing her bed, of her finding joy in someone else, even if she deserves to. Even stranger is thinking the Jackal knows these things. Is she involved in this? No, the Jackal says with a heavy laugh. You know she's with Loon now. It's hilarious, really. Who would have thought that of the two of us, she'd be the prodigal twin? Well, more prodigal. She cannot be hurt, I say. If she is, I will cut off your head. That's aggressive. But you have a deal. So, you're with me. I've been with you since I got into the shuttle. You know I have no other options. And I know no other person who would ever summon me here. The variables could only lead to this end. And why should they not? I took his hand. He took a friend. All he has done is bite and claw for his own survival. Watching him now, so small and plain in a world of gods, it's almost as if he's the hero, nobly struggling against a father who rejected him, against a society that laughs at his size, his weakness, and scorns him as a cannibal, even though it was they who told him to do whatever he had to do to win. In an odd way, he is like me. He could have had his hand repaired, but he chose not to, wearing it as a badge of honor instead of shame. So, I'll go along with this. Then in the end, maybe I'll kill him. For Pax. His face splits into a grand smile. I'm so pleased, Darrow. So pleased. And, to be honest, a bit relieved. Well, what is next? I ask. You must need something from me now. A gold by the name of Fensor al-Drusilla has learned of my dealings with the syndicates. He is trying to blackmail me. I need you to kill him. Of course. When? Not for a week or so. The real purpose of killing him will be to gain favor with one of the Sovereign's cousins who was slighted by Fensor. With Fensor's death, you'll fall into the cousin's favor. I choked down a laugh. You'll have me play the role of a pixie gallant, flitting about court, bedding ladies? Mustang will think I'm doing it to spite her. The jackal's eyes sparkle with mischief. Who said anything about ladies? Oh, I say, realizing what he means. Oh, that's complicated. Tactus might be better for this. The jackal chuckles at my surprise. Oh, you'll do just fine. But all this is worry for another day. For now, relax. I'll purchase your contract through a second party as soon as it goes up for auction. The Bologna will try to buy it. I have a backer. We'll outspend them. Victra? No. She's more of a broker in this. What you have to understand about Victra is she's not, how do you say, partisan. She just loves stirring the pot. The backer you'll meet soon enough. That won't work, I say. I want to meet him now. I'm not your puppet. I share everything I know. You share everything you know. But I know so much more. Fine. He leans forward. You'll meet him tonight. It's not that I don't trust you. I just think it appropriate that he introduces himself. Fine enough. I want to bring the Howlers back, and Severo. Done. You'll also need to select a blade master, someone to tutor you with the razor. We'll need you to kill a few people publicly in the future. I know how to use a razor, I say. Not what I've heard. Come now, there's no shame in it. I have a few names. It's a pity Arcos isn't tutoring. These days I might actually have the funds to afford Stoneside and his Willow Way. His words trail off, and his eyes drift from me, pulled to the slinking form of a woman who cuts through the smoke and drab of the tavern, like an ember falling through fog. I can smell the almond on her skin, the citrus of her lips as she nears our table, graceful and stirring as the air of Venus's summer coast. Bones fragile, avian. She wears a black shift that covers her skin except her bare shoulders. Then I catch her eyes, and I almost fall out of my chair. It's a shot to the heart. My pulse patters. It's her. The girl with wings who could never fly. But now, she's fled from Mickey, it seems. Wings gone, ripened into womanhood. But why is Evie here? Did the sun send her? I can barely keep my composure. She hasn't recognized me. I didn't know roses to grow so deep among the weeds, the jackal says to her. Her laughter drifts like the beating of a butterfly's wings. She traces the bottom edge of the worn table and shrugs minutely. Common men can't afford uncommon things, but my mistress heard uncommon men were in Lost City and sent me as an ambassador. Ah! The jackal leans back, appraising her. You're a syndicate girl. One of Vabana's? Off her nod, the jackal looks at me and mistakes my expression of surprise for one of desire. Take her upstairs, Darrow. On me. A welcoming gift. Let me know if you want to buy her. We can discuss business tomorrow. At the word Darrow, Evie's composure buckles for a blink. She steps back and I hear her breath pattern change. And when her eyes meet mine, I know she sees through the obsidian disguise and glimpses the red underneath all these lies. However, the surprise there means she's not here for me. She's here for the jackal. But why? Is she with the Sons? Or did Mickey finally sell his prize to this Vabana gangster? I don't do slaves, Evie says to the jackal, pointing to my obsidian sigils. You'll find there's more to this one than meets the eye. Dominus, He grabs her hand. twisting her pinky horribly. "Shut up and do as you're told, girl, or we'll take what you won't give." He flashes a great smile and releases her. She holds her hand, trembling. It doesn't take much to wound a pink. I stand. "I believe I'll take it from here, my friend." "I'm sure you will." I wave the bodyguards away who try to accompany me. I follow Evie up the hand rungs leading to the 4th floor, earning hoots from some of the patrons. My eyes catch one of the holocams above the bar. Images of a bombing ripple in 3 dimensions. It looks to be at a cafe. A gold cafe. My eyes widen as the extent of the devastation is shown. Was it the Sun's? Another bombing flashes across a different screen. And another till dozens of bombings flood the screens throughout the tavern. All heads turn to watch, silence yawning through the vast tavern. Evie's hand tightens around mine, and I know it was the Sons who committed the bombings. They sent her. But why Luna? Why the Jackal? Why haven't they contacted me? "Hurry," she says as we reach the 15th floor, pulling me through the pink lights, past the dancers and hungry patrons, to the last door at the end of a narrow corridor. I follow her inside the dark room and immediately smell the acrid tang of scorcher oil. Air shifts behind me as a man in a ghost cloak creeps forward. It takes considerable effort to resist the impulse to kill him. "He's one of ours," Evie snaps. She turns on the light. 6 Reds in heavy military tech decloak. They wear demon helms with high-grade optics. "Call in the skimmer." "He's not Aegis our Augustus," one of them growls. "He's a bloody obsidian." "Strange-looking one." One of the Reds with the optics jumps back, scorcher priming. "Bone density is gold." "Stop!" Evie shouts. "He's a friend. Harmony has been looking for him." Not Ares or Dancer. "You weren't here for me," I say, eyeing their weapons. "You were hunting." She turns to me. "I'll explain later, but we have to go." "What did you do?" I ask, as one of the Reds pulls out a plasma torch and cuts a hole in the wall, opening the room up to the stink of the city. Moist air rushes in, and lights flood the room as a small dropship descends, opening its side hatches parallel to the improvised door. "Darrow, there's no time." I grab her. "Evie, why are you here?" Her eyes flash with triumph. "Adrius, our Augustus, has murdered 15 of our brothers and sisters. I was sent to capture or kill him. I chose the latter. In 20 seconds, he'll be ash." I rip one of the Red's datapads off his arm and prime my concealed grav boots. Evie shouts at me. The boots whine mournfully as they lift me into the air. I rip back the way we came, rupturing through the door instead of opening it, flying down the hallway like a bat out of hell. I smash past a dancer, careen over 2 orange customers, and turn a razor-tight right angle down over the railing toward the Jackal's table as he finishes his liquor. His stained marks me, as do the Greys. Too slow. On the screens, over the bombings, the static crackles, and a blood-red helm burns. "Reap what you sow." Ares' voice growls from a dozen speakers. The table melts under the Jackal's hand, consumed by the bomb Evie planted. The stain throws the Jackal away from the table like a doll and curls his titanic body around the mushrooming energy. His mouth moves in a death whisper. "Skirnir al Falnir." Chapter 9. The Darkness. The energy blossoms outward from the stained liquid to the eye, evaporating his body and spreading over the floor like spilled mercury before darkening, slipping back to the origin, sucking men and chairs and bottles toward it like a black hole, before detonating with a deep, nightmare roar. I snag the jackal up by his jacket and fly through the wall, slamming shoulder first as, behind us, glass, wood, metal, eardrums, and men rupture. My boots fail. We fly across the street and slam into the building opposite, cracking concrete and falling to the ground as the lost wee den shrinks inward like a grape, becoming a raisin, becoming dust. She exhales a death rattle of fire and ash before sagging to ruin. Beneath me, the jackal's unconscious, his legs badly burned. I vomit as I try to stand, my skeleton creaking like the trunk of a young tree after its first hard winter wind. I stumble up only to fall back to the ground, emptying my stomach a second time. Pain in my skull, nose dripping blood, ears trickling with it, eyeballs throbbing from the explosion, shoulder dislocated. I gain my knees, wedge my shoulders against the wall, and roll the joint back in, quivering out breath as it pops into place. The feeling of needles tickles my fingers. I wipe the sick off my hands and wobble finally to my feet. I pick up the jackal and squint into the smoke. I hear nothing but the wailing of stereocilia, like screaming sparrows in my inner ear, throbbing. I shake away the lights that dance across my vision. Smoke swallows me. People flow past, water around a rock, rushing to help those trapped. They'll find only death, only ash. Sonic booms puncture the night. The jackal's support teams roar down from the city above, and as they land to take him out of this hell, the sparrows in my ears fade, devoured by the crackling of flames and the crying of the wounded. I stand in front of an abandoned factory, 400 kilometers from the citadel, deep in the old industrial sector. Newer factories have been built atop this one, burying it beneath a fresh skin of industry like a deep blackhead. Grime skins the place, carnivorous moss, rust-filled water. I'd have thought it a dead end if I didn't know my quarries so well. The datapad I took from the Red survived the explosion. I left the jackal for his support teams and slipped farther down the street, where I stole a grey police craft. After wiping the datapad's tracking device, I hacked into the datapad coordinates history. I knock hard on the locked door to the factory's main level. Nothing. They must be shitting themselves. So I kneel on the ground, hands behind my head, and wait. After a few minutes, the door creaks open. Darkness inside. Then several figures slip forward. They bind my hands, cover my head with a bag, and push me into the factory. After taking me down an old hydraulic elevator, they guide me steadily toward the sound of music. Brahms' Piano Concerto No. 2. Computers hum. Welding torches flare bright enough to glow through the bag's fabric. "Here, get off him, you brutes!" snaps a familiar voice. "Careful, clown," rumbles some red. "Babble at me all you want, you rusty baboon. He's worth more than 10,000 of you inbred rough..." "Dallo, get out," Evie says softly. "Now." Boots thud away. "Can I stop pretending now?" I ask. "By all means," Mickey says. I snap the cuffs they use to bind my wrists behind my back and strip off the bag that covers my head. The concrete and metal laboratory is clean, quiet but for the soothing music. A faint haze floats in the air from Mickey's water pipe in the corner. I tower over him and Evie. She can't contain herself. No longer the seductress Rose from the tavern, she throws herself into me like a little girl greeting a long-lost uncle. Her hands linger on my waist as she eventually pulls back and stares up into my gold eyes with her pink ones. Despite her giggling, she's all sensuality and beauty, with willowy arms, and a slow, intimate smile that echoes none of the grief killing nearly 200 people should mark her with. The winged girl has become a carrion bird, and she doesn't seem to have noticed. I wonder if she'd smile so broadly if she had to kill all those people with a knife. How easy we make mass murder. I could recognize you anywhere, she says. When I saw you at the table, my heart skipped a beat, especially in that ridiculous obsidian makeup. Darrow? What's wrong? She yelps when I pick her up by the front of her jacket and shove her against the wall. You just killed 200 people. I shake my head, sore and heavy with the weight of what's happened. How could you, Evie? I shake her, seeing again the crew of my ship venting into space, seeing all the dead I've left in my path, feeling Julian's pulse fade to nothing. Darrow, darling, Mickey tries. Shut up, Mickey. Yes, all right. Reds, pinks, low colours, your own people, like they were nothing. My hands tremble. I was following orders, Darrow, she says. Adrius has been investigating us. He had to be taken out. So, with all his scheming, he'd been noticed. Tears brim in Evie's eyes. I don't recoil from them. Who gives a shit about how she feels after what she's just done? But I release her, letting her slide pathetically down the wall, hoping she might show some glimmer of regret that would make me think those tears are for the people she killed, and not for herself, not because she's scared of me. This isn't how I wanted it to be, she says, wiping her eyes. When you saw me again? I stare down at her, confused. What happened to you? She had a different teacher than you, Mickey says. I took her wings off, and Harmony gave her claws. I turn to Mickey. What the hell is going on? It would take a year to explain. He crosses his arms and examines me. But let us first say, you've been missed, my darling prince. Second, please do not link my morality to that lost soul. I agree, Evie is a little monster. He glares past me at Evie as she stands. Maybe now you'll see yourself for what you are. His sneer fades, quick eyes scanning me, toe to head. Third, you look divine, my boy. Absolutely divine. His eyes dance over my face. His mouth opens, closes, tripping over itself. It has so much to say. Sharp of face, oily of hair, he slides forward like a blade on ice, all angles. Skin wrapped around slender bones. Was he so thin when last I saw him? Or does he simply not have his cosmetics? No. His blinks are slow, languid. He's tired, older, and seemingly beaten down. A queer air of vulnerability in the way his shoulders hunch and his eyes dart around, as if expecting to be hit at any moment. I asked you a question, Mickey, I say. I can't think about the forest. I'm still examining the tree. It's astounding how your body flourished. Simply astounding, my darling. You've actually grown larger. How fair are your pain receptors? Did the hair follicles ever grow irritated as I was concerned? What about the muscle contraction? Do you find it above the average of your peers? Pupil dilation fast enough? All I heard for months was talk of you on the HC. They could not show the Institute, of course, but there were videos leaked on the HoloNet. Such videos. You killing a peerless Scard. Taking some strange fortress in the sky like a champion of old. Even they swallow the myths of the conquerors, the noble champions of old. He grips my shoulder desperately, his hand weaker than I remember. Tell me about your life. What the Academy is like. Tell me everything. Are you still lovers with that delectable Virginia Au Augustus? He frowns suddenly. Oh, of course you're not. She's with... Mickey! I grip him. Calm down. He laughs so hard he coughs, turning from me to wipe his eyes. Just good to see a friendly face. They don't allow me kind company these days. None at all. Monstrous, really. Shut up, Mickey. Evie snaps. His eyes slip to Evie, who now stands far from my reach, fingering the burner holstered on her hip, as though it would protect her from me. Why are you on Luna? What is going on? I ask. Have you joined the Sons? Much has happened, Mickey murmurs. I'm not here by... He works for us now, Darrow. Evie interrupts coldly. Whether he likes it or not. We took his little skin den apart, used the funds he made from selling flesh to buy transport here and equip an army. We're striking back, Darrow. Finally. One pink terrorist and a handful of reds playing with guns, I say without looking at her. Is that your army? We drew blood from the goals today, Darrow. If you don't respect me, respect that. I killed the son of Mars's arch-governor. What have you done that makes you think you can come here and spit on what we've done? You didn't kill him, I say. She looks blankly at me. Don't be ridiculous. I stare back, angry. But how? The bomb, she says. You're lying. I got him out in time. Why? Because my mission is complicated. I need him. Where is Dancer? Who is in charge here? Mickey. I am, says another voice from my past. One with an accent like my wife's, except this voice is poisoned and bitter with anger. I turn to see Harmony at the door. Half her face still blasted with that terrible scar. The other half is cold and cruel, older than I remember. Harmony, I say mildly. The years have done nothing to warm us to each other. It's good to see you. I need to debrief. There's so much to say. I can't even think where to begin. Then I notice the glance she gives Evie. Harmony, where is Dancer? Dancer is dead, Darrow. Later, Harmony sits with me in front of Mickey's desk in an office of cheap, angular furniture and jars filled with hybrid organs floating in preservative gas. Mickey sits behind the desk, fidgeting with that old platonic puzzle cube of his. He sees me looking at it and he winks. He's gotten better. Evie leans against a barrel of chemicals. I sit, utterly lost. Dancer had a plan for me. He had a plan for all this. He's not supposed to be dead. He can't be. It was Dancer's last wish for Mickey to carve us a new army, one that will rival the goals in speed and strength. We've taken our greatest men and women and put them to the carving. They cannot survive a gold procedure like the one you endured, but some managed to brave this new program. She waves out the glass where 100 coffin-like tubes splay across the floor. Inside each, reds of a new breed. Soon we'll have 100 soldiers who can cut gold deeper than any before. As if 100 would be enough to fight the gold war machine. My howlers and I could likely shred any unit these terrorists put together. And we're not even the deadliest golds. She gestures with a new arm, having lost the one of flesh and bone to an obsidian when raiding an armory for weapons. It's a limb of metal now, fluid and strong, with illegal black market sockets for weaponry. Good workmanship, but nothing compared with Mickey's carving. Of course, she'd never let him work on her. So Mickey is a prisoner? I ask. Slave, more like. Mickey grunts with a small smile. They don't even give me wine. Shut up, Mickey. Evie snaps. Evie? Harmony fixes the young woman with a tolerant stare before regarding Mickey. Remember what we talked about, eh? Mind your tongue. Mickey flinches, eyes darting down to her left hand. There is an empty holster on her belt, something Mickey is scared of. Harmony is behaving for me. You're afraid he's going to say how you beat him? She shrugs, dismissing my judgment. Mickey sold girls and boys. Can't enslave a slaver. Far as I see it, he's bloody damn lucky not to have a bullet in his brain. Could hire a carver to give him horns and wings and a tail so he'd look like the monster he is, but I haven't. Have I, Mickey? No. No? No, Domina. The word makes me recoil in disgust. Dancer always respected him, I say. I respect him, despite all his eccentricities. He bought people, sold them, Evie says. We've all sinned, I say. Especially you, now. Told you he'd be bloody damn holier than thou, acting like he doesn't compromise his morality day in, day out, finding excuses for wicked bastards like our Mickey here. Harmony smirks to Evie, sharing a private joke. That sort of attitude is all fine up there, Darryl, but you learn we don't compromise here anymore. That's the past. Then Dancer is truly dead. Dancer was a good man. She's silent for too short a moment for it to count as respectful. But good men tend to die first. Half a year back, he hired a grey mercenary team to hit a communications hub so we could steal data. I said we should kill them once the job was done. Dancer said, what was it again? We aren't devils. But after the grey captain collected his pay, he pissed off to the local society police headquarters and offered them Dancer's location. Bloody damn Lurcher squad put Dancer and 200 sons in the dirt in 2 minutes. Never again. If they kill one of us, we kill 100 of them. And we don't trust greys. We don't pay violets. They've lived off our toil for ages. We only trust reds. Evie shifts uncomfortably. There was another red at the Institute. I say after a moment. Titus. Was he one of yours? I glance toward Mickey. Don't look at me, Mickey says. How did you know Titus was the red? Harmony asks quickly. Did he tell you? He let it slip. Small mannerisms. No one else noticed. Then you found each other? She asked, not smiling, but sighing free a weight she's long carried. He was a good lad. I'm sure you became friends. He never discovered me. Did you carve him, Mickey? With Harmony's blessing, he answers. No, darling, you were my first, my only. He winks. I consulted on his carving, but an associate of mine did his procedure based on the successes you and I pioneered. Dancer found you, Harmony says. I found Titus, though his name was Arliss when we pulled him from Thebus Mines. He didn't care about keeping it. It's fitting that Harmony would find Titus. Birds of a feather. What happened to him? She asks. We know he died. What happened to him? I let a gold put him in the bloody ground. I look stonily at the three of them, thankful they cannot read my thoughts. They know nothing. I can barely conceive of what they must think of me. They've such small perspectives on what I've done, on what I have become. I thought there was a plan, a long, large reason for all my toil. But there was nothing. I know that now. Even Dancer was just waiting to see what happened. Hoping. I expected to be welcomed back with open arms. I expected an army waiting, a grand plan, for Ares to take off his infamous helm and dazzle me with his brilliance, and prove all my faith warranted. Hell, all I wanted was to find them again so I would not feel alone. But I feel more alone than ever, sitting here in a concrete room with these three pale people on rickety plastic chairs. A gold named Cassius Bellona killed him, I say. Was it a good death? By now, you should know there's no such thing. Cassius? The same one you have a blood feud with? Is that why? Evie asks eagerly. Is that why the Bellona want to kill you? I run a hand through my hair. No. I killed Cassius's brother. It's one of the reasons they hate me. Blood for blood, Evie murmurs, like she knows what the hell she's talking about. We hit them hard today, Dara. 12 blasts across Luna and Mars. Dancer and Titus have been avenged, Harmony says. And we'll hit them harder in the days to come. This cell is just one of many. She waves her hand at the desk, and scenes rise as the holodisplay comes to life. Violet news anchors drone on about the carnage. Am I supposed to be impressed? I ask. You're as bad as them. You know that, yes? Never mind the strategy of it. Never mind your taunting a sleeping dragon. Evie herself killed over 100 low-colours just hours ago. There weren't reds, Harmony says, and then adds, in an amazingly insincere afterthought, or pinks. Yes, there were. Then their sacrifice will be remembered, Harmony says solemnly. Vox clamantus in deserto, I exclaim. Mickey sits quiet, but he allows himself a small smile. Trying to impress us with your gold fancy talk? Harmony asks. He feels like a voice crying out in the desert, shouting all in vain. Mickey exclaims, it's simple Latin. So you know what's what, Harmony says. Become a gold and suddenly you have all the answers. Wasn't that the point of me becoming a gold? So we could see how they think? No. It was to position you to strike at their jugular. She balls her fist and strikes the palm of her metal hand in emphasis. Don't act like you were born better than I. Remember, I know what you are inside. Just a scared boy who tried to kill himself when he was too weak to save his wife from hanging. I sit speechless. Harmony, he's just trying to help, Evie says softly. I know it must be hard, Dara. You've spent years with them, but we have to hurt them. See? That's all they understand. Pain. Pain is how they control us. She continues slowly. The first day I served a gold was the greatest pleasure I felt in all my life. I can't explain it to you. It was like meeting God. Now I know that it wasn't pleasure I felt. It was the absence of pain. That's how they train pinks to live a life of slavery, Dara. They raise us in the gardens with implants in our bodies that fill our lives with pain. They call the device Cupid's kiss. The burn along the spine, the ache in the head. It never stops. Not even when you close your eyes. Not even when you cry. It only stops when you obey. They take the kiss away eventually, when we're 12. But you can't know what it's like. The fear that it'll come back, Dara. Evie plays with her nails. Gold needs to feel pain. They need to fear it. And they need to learn they may not hurt us without consequences. That's what harmony means. And I thought the golds were broken. We're all just wounded souls stumbling about in the dark, desperately trying to stitch ourselves together, hoping to fill the holes they ripped in us. Io kept me from this end. Without her, I'd be like them. Lost. It's not about hurting them, Evie, I say. It's about beating them. Io taught me that. Dancer, too. We're swinging at the apples when we should be digging at the roots. What will bombing them do? What will assassination accomplish? We need to undermine their society as a whole, erode their way of life, not this. You've lost sight of your mission, Darrow, Harmony says. You say that to me, I ask. How could you possibly understand what I've seen? Exactly. What you've seen. Dine with the masters and forget the slaves. You can afford to live a life of theories. What about what I've seen? We're down in the shit. We're dying. And what are you doing? Philosophizing. Living the plush life, bedding pinks. I had to listen as Dancer died. I had to hear the bloody damn screams rattle over the comms as the lurchers came to kill. And I could do nothing to save them. If you had lived through that, you would know fire can only be fought with fire. I know where these words lead. They gave me a hole in my gut. Put me weeping in the mud, Cassius standing over me. That is how this will end. You may have lost all you love, Harmony. I'm sorry for that. But my family is still in a mine. They will not suffer because you are angry. My wife's dream was about a better world, not a bloodier one. I stand. Now, I want to talk to Ares. Silence lies heavy upon the room. Give us a moment. Harmony looks at Mickey and Evie. She watches Mickey stand reluctantly. He pauses, as if to say something to me, but, feeling Harmony's eyes on him, thinks better of it. Good luck, my darling, he says simply, patting my shoulder. Let me stay, Evie says, drawing close to Harmony. I can help with him. Harmony touches her hip. Ares wouldn't allow it. After what I did today, don't you trust me? I'm not like the rest. I trust you, as much as any red. But this is something I can't share with you. She kisses Evie softly on the lips. Go. Evie pauses at the door, looking back at me. We're not your enemies, Darrow. You have to know that. The door clicks shut behind her, and we're left alone in Mickey's office. Does she know? I ask. Know what? That you sent her on a suicide mission. No. She's not like us. She trusts. And you'd sacrifice her? I'd sacrifice any of us to kill a peerless Scarred. All we get are worthless pixies and bronzies. I want the real tyrants. You're using her worse than Mickey ever did. She has a choice, Harmony mutters. Does she? Enough. Harmony sits and gestures for me to do the same. Dancer may be dead, but Ares has a plan for you. No. I'm done listening to his plans through others. I've sacrificed 3 years of my life for him. I want to see his face. Impossible. Then I'm done. How can you be done, eh? You're trapped. You bloody well can't go home to like us, can you? One way out. Buckle tight and stay the course. Her words strike hard. I can't go back. The loneliness in that is inexpressible. Where is my home? Where will I go, even if this all ends with gold falling to ashes? You won't meet Ares. Even I've never seen his face, hell diver. You haven't. You've worked for him for almost as long as Dancer. Years. How can you, of all people, trust him? Because he put the first gun in my hand. He wore his helmet and pushed a Mark IV Scorcher with a full ion clip into my palm. Is Ares a man? I ask. Who cares? She pulls up a holo display. The electrons swirl in the air, coalescing into a series of maps. I recognized the topography. Mars, Venus, Luna, I think. Dozens of red dots blink through blueprints of cities, dockyards, and a dozen other vital organs. Bombs, I realize. Harmony looks tiredly at the map. This is Ares' plan. 400 bombings, 600 assaults on weapons depots, government facilities, electric companies, communications grids. It is the sum of the sons of Ares. Years of planning, years of scraping up resources. I had no idea we could carry out such action. I stare at the map in awe. The bombings today were meant to provoke a response, get them all hot and bothered. We want them mobilizing. If they mobilize, they condense. Easiest to burn pit vipers when they're packed tight. When will this take place? 3 nights from now? 3 nights. I repeat. At the conclusion of the summit. He can't want me to do that. He does. 3 nights from now, the summit finishes up nice with a gala. Wine, pinks, silks, whatever the hell you gold brows do. All the bloody damn governors, all the senators, praetors, imperators, judiciaries from across the society will be here. A solar system of monsters brought by the power of the sovereign to one place. It'll be 10 more years before we see this. There's no way for the sons to get in, but you can go where we can't. You can strike the blow that we cannot. I feel the words coming like a train down a tunnel. When they've all gathered nice and tight-like, when the sovereign stands to give her speech, you kill the gold-brow bastards with a radium bomb we hide in you. Mickey and a crew of gizmos built the tech. Once we see the bomb is detonated via the data recorder we'll plant on you, we unleash hell across the system. Burn them out. This is the sum of all I've done. There has to be another way. There were always 2 plans, Helldiver. This and you. Ares and Dancers said you were our hope, our chance at another path. They boasted like boys that you could destroy gold from inside. But you failed, like I said you would. You're gonna claim blood is on Evie's hands. Well, it's on yours too. You don't even know the blood I have on my hands, Harmony. I'm not some bloody damn saint. But Evie's attack was a crime. The only crime is if we lose. I shatter. There's more at play here than you understand. We cannot face gold. No matter the blow we strike, they will eradicate us like this. I snap my fingers. So you won't do it? No, I won't do it, Harmony. Then the war begins without your help? She says. We had 2 sons ready to try to enter the gala. They're not gold, so bets are higher they'll get caught and cut to ribbons in a Praetorian torture cell before completing their mission. Means the leaders of gold will live on, and our tiny chances of winning this shitstorm shrink because you don't trust Ares. Slag this. Ares should have told me this himself if he wanted my help. How? He's on Mars preparing the revolution. There's no way to communicate. They monitor everything. How could he contact you without exposing your cover? She leans forward, lower teeth exposed ferally. Tell me, Darrow, do you even know how much they've stolen from you? It's something in her tone. What do you mean? Here's what I mean. She jams a series of orders into the holocube, and an image appears of Lycos mines. My blood goes cold. The recording of Eo's death, the one we pirated and broadcast. My heart thuds in my throat. It wasn't complete. She presses play, and the room around us becomes the mine. We're a part of the three-dimensional hollow. It's the raw footage, not the stuff on the newsreels, not the stuff I've seen 100 times. It shows the hanging without a soundtrack. I hear my own cries of pain as the Greys beat the boy I used to be. Weeping in the crowd. The awkward silence of unedited footage. My mother hangs her head, and Uncle Nero spits in the dust. Kieran, my brother, covers his children's eyes. Feet shuffle. Dio, Eo's sister, stumbles up the metal scaffold, shoes scraping over rust, sobbing. Then Dio leans toward my wife. Eo stands small, so pale and thin, little more than the smoke of the burning girl I remember. Her lips move. Again, I don't hear it, just as I didn't hear it that day. Suddenly, Dio sobs uncontrollably and clings to Eo. What was said? Use the equipment. That's what it's there for, eh? I've wondered at it 1,000 times, but never had access to this footage. I never knew how I'd find it without raising suspicion. And the thought scared me, as it scares me now. What was I not strong enough to hear? What could Dio bear that I could not? In the news footage that was pirated, they don't even show Dio. But here, with the raw footage, I can rewind. I do so. I can amplify the sound. I do so. I watch it happen again. My mother hangs her head. Nero spits. Kieran covers the children's eyes. Feet shuffle. Dio goes up the scaffold. All the sound is magnified. I sort out the white noise with the controls, and I hear what my wife said to Dio. In our bedroom, there's a crib I made. Hide it before Darrow returns. A crib? Dio murmurs. He must never know. It would break him. Don't say it, Eo. Don't. I am with child. Chapter 10. Broken. I break. Sitting in a void, staring at my hands. The hands that could not save my wife, my child. She was right. I wasn't strong enough to bear the truth of her second sacrifice. Eo could have lived. Eo could have given us the child we always wanted. But she thought that future wasn't worth her silence. I wasn't worth it. I feel something deep in my chest, a hollow, cold ache, like blackness has opened in the pit of my soul, even as my body tightens and coils around grief. I weigh 1,000,000 pounds. Shoulders slump. Chest compresses. My fingers clutch together. Funny to think these hands have been with me this whole time. They touched her lips. They helped pull her ankles. They buried her in the soil. But they didn't just bury her, did they? No. They buried another life. One unborn. Our child, dead before it lived. And I never even knew. I mourned without knowing the greatest injustice. I failed them both. The amplified video replays again. I am with child, she tells Dio on the scaffold. I am with child. I replay it a dozen times, feeling myself shrink into a corridor of grief. The goals didn't just kill her. They killed what I've always wanted to be. A husband and a father. If only I had stopped her. If only I'd not pouted like a child when we lost the laurel. She wouldn't have thought to take me to the garden. If only I had the strength to pretend losing the laurel didn't bother me. All the family I could have had. A wife, sons, daughters, grandchildren. They've been slaughtered before they ever were. Io will never hold our daughter. She will never kiss our son to sleep and smile over me as his little hands clutch my finger. I'm all that's left of that family that could have been. A dark shadow of the man I was meant to be. The rage rises. We had a chance, and it's gone. Everything I wanted is gone. Because of me, and because of them. Their laws, their injustice, their cruelty. They made a woman choose death for her and her unborn child over a life of slavery. All that for power. All that so they can keep their perfect little world. You are not strong enough then, Harmony says. Are you strong enough now, Helldiver? I look at her, tears blurring my sight. Her hard eyes soften for me. I had children once. Radiation ate their insides. And they didn't even give them the pain meds. Didn't even fix the leak. Said there weren't enough resources. My husband just sat there and watched them die. In the end, the same thing took him. He was a good man. But good men die. To free them, to protect them, we must be savages. So give me evil. Give me darkness. Make me the bloody damn devil if we can bring even the faintest ray of light. I stand and wrap my arms around her as I'm reminded of the true horrors our kind face. Had I really forgotten? I am a child of hell, and I've spent too long in their heaven. Whatever Ares wants, I'll do it. Pliny sent the bitch. The jackal hisses as the yellow physicians slowly remove the burned skin from his arm and reapply new growth cultures. It wasn't the sons of Ares. They wouldn't kill that many low colours. It's against profile. Pliny, probably, or the sovereign's praetorians using cover. The lights of passing ships glow through the glass. He curses and shouts at his servants to black out the windows. Gray's brought me here to his private skyscraper instead of the citadel, as I requested. The place crawls with mercenaries. He prefers Gray's to Obsidian's, except apparently that's stained. And the only other gold which shows the extent of the jackal's trust. His name would certainly bring enough hangers-on to fill a city, but he's comfortable in his isolation. Like me. Could it have been Victra? I ask. She didn't stay. She's already proven her loyalty. She wouldn't use a bomb. And she's in love with you. It wasn't her. In love with me? I ask, startled. You're blind as a blue. He snorts, but says no more about it. Our alliance must remain a secret until we're off this damn moon, which means you were not in that tavern. If Pliny knew the extent of our plans, he would have been more thorough. I believe he was only targeting me. So you will return to the Citadel. Pretend as if nothing has happened. I will continue my plan with the Syndicate Lords, then purchase your contract at the end of the summit. At which point, their world will change. I turn to leave him, but his voice arrests me at the door. You saved my life. Only one other person has ever done that. Thank you, Darrow. Tell your new skin to grow faster. You won't want to miss the closing gala. The next 3 days pass in a haze. My mind on Io and what we lost. I cannot find escape from the grief. It plagues me even as I work myself to death in the estate's gymnasium. I do not indulge in small talk. I pull back from my friends. None of this matters. Not to me. Life fades in the presence of pain. Theodora notices and tries her best to relieve my dourness, even suggesting I distract myself with roses from the Citadel's garden. Better you, Dominus, than some rough man from the gas giants, she says. News of the bombings sweeps through the Citadel, dominating the news. The Society plays it well, broadcasting their aid relief, sending out instructions on how to handle a potential crisis. Yellow psychologists analyze Ares on screen, conclude that a latent sexual trauma in his youth makes him lash out to seize control of his world again. Violet actors and entertainers raise money for those families who have lost loved ones. Quicksilver himself volunteers 3% of his personal fortune to relief efforts. Obsidian and Grey commandos attack asteroid bases where Sons of Ares train. Grey anti-terrorist agents hold press conferences saying they have apprehended those responsible, likely some Reds they pulled out of a mine or Luna's slums. It's a farce, and the Golds play it so well. They hide from the cameras and make this seem a fight of all the colors against Red terrorists. This is not Gold's fight. It belongs to all of society. Moreover, society is winning because our sacrifice and obedience allow the righteous to prosper. Bloody damn horse shit. Yet still, blame must be placed. So the Arch-Governor is pulled away to face inquiries regarding his handling of the situation. How have the suns spread from Mars to Luna, they will ask. The gold hornet's nest has been stirred, as I said it would be. But still the gala continues. I watch the Golds play their games of intrigue, diplomacy, spiriting off to galas and conferences and summits, untouched by the dirty games with terrorists. They are protected, shielded from horror. It would bother me, but they are shadows to me now, as though they've already fallen into some distant memory. I touch the bomb on my chest in regret. It is of Mickey's make, a copy of the Pegasus I wore at the Institute, which contained Io's hair, and now lies secreted away with my other personal effects. All I need do is twist its head, and it becomes the bomb. The ring they gave me will activate it. I draw away from friends, from Victra. She's asked Rogue what's wrong with me. I know he will answer that I'm like the wind, a creature of vagary and moods, or something like that. He draws closer to me, visiting my rooms when I've gone to bed, attempting to spar with me in the gymnasium. But I cannot smile with him, or listen to his soft voice read poems or discuss philosophy, or even share jokes. I can't let myself feel for him, because I know he will soon be dead. I try to kill him in my heart, before I kill him in the flesh. Can I add him to the list of those I've already sent to the grave? I finally find my answer the night of the gala, when Theodora brings me my pressed clothing from the laundry. She doesn't say anything that reminds me of Rogue, doesn't offer pithy wisdom. Instead, she does something I've never seen from her. She makes a mistake. While setting my uniform down on a chair, she knocks over a glass of wine on a nearby table. The wine splashes over the sleeve of my white uniform. What flashes through her eyes chills me. Terror. The sort a deer might have when staring at an oncoming air car. She streams out apologies as though I would hit her if she did not. It takes her a moment to compose herself, for the flash of panic to dissipate. When it does, she sits there on the floor, dabbing at the uniform in silence. I don't know what to do. I stand there awkwardly for a moment before putting a hand on her shoulder to tell her all's well. That's when she begins to cry, in great heaving sobs that rack her small shoulders. She flinches from my touch and composes herself, telling me I'll have to wear black instead of white. She may not know what is about to happen, but she can feel it in me, in the air. While the other Lancers play with one another, take microabrasion baths and consult with stylists to prepare themselves for the gala, I lace up my thick military boots with trembling fingers. I've never been good at saving my friends. It seems I always drag them into harm's way. Severo, I believe, is still alive only because of the distance between us. Fitchner was always afraid I'd kill his son. Said my life's strand was so strong that it frayed all those around it. Now, seeing Theodora like that, it reminds me how fragile and complicated we really are. I don't know why she cried. Some past trauma, some sense of what's to come. Not knowing reminds me of the depth to the people around me. I am speechless, cold. But Roke is warm. He would have known what to say. I knock on his door several minutes before Augustus's entourage is set to depart the villa for the gala. There's no answer. I open the door and find my friend sitting on his bed, holding an ancient book gently by its spine. His smooth features ripple into a smile when he sees it as me. I thought you attacked us, come to beg me to shoot some stims before the gala. He always thinks because I'm reading, I'm not doing anything. There is no greater plague to an introvert than the extroverted, especially that beast. He will run himself into the ground one of these days. I force a chuckle. At least he's sincere about his vices. Have you met his brothers yet? Roke asks. I shake my head. They make Tactus look like a lamb. Gory hell, I swear. I lean against the door's frame. That bad? The brothers' wrath. They are terrible. Terribly rich, terribly talented, and their chief virtue lies in their ability to sin. They're prodigies at it. Roke grins conspiratorially. If you believe rumors, and I love rumors, remind me of Byron and Wilde. Tactus's brothers opened a brothel in Aegea when they were 14. Classy affair till they started arranging more customized experiences. Then what happened? Ruined daughters, sons, insults, duels, dead heirs, debt, poison. He shrugs. It's the Roth family. What do you expect from those blackguards? It's why everyone was so surprised Tactus had taken up with an iron gold like you. He clarifies. You know, his brothers mock him for being in your shadow. It's why he's always so sarcastic. He wants to be like you, but he can't. So he resorts to his usual defenses. He frowns. Sometimes I feel like you understand all of us better than we understand ourselves. Then other times, it's like you couldn't care less. Roke tilts his head at me when I say nothing. What is it? Nothing. You're never one for nothing. He sets his book down on his chest and pats the edge of the bed, drawing me into the room. Sit. Please. I came because I wanted to apologize. I say very slowly, sitting on the edge of the bed. I've been distant these last months, particularly these last days. I don't think I was fair to you. Not when you've been my most loyal friend. Well, you and Severo, but you won't stop sending me strange pictures over the net. More unicorns. I laugh. I think he has a problem. Rogue pats my hand. Thank you. But you're like a hound, apologizing for wagging its tail. You're always distant, Dara. You don't have to apologize for how you are. Not to me. More distant, perhaps. Perhaps, he agrees, allowing it. We all have our own tides inside. They go in, out. He shrugs. Not really ours to control. The things, people that orbit us do that, at least more than we'd like to admit. After watching me a moment, he furrows his brow in thought. Is this about Mustang? I know it was hard for you to leave her, no matter what you said at the time. You should seek her out while we're here. I know you miss her. Admit it. I don't. Liar, liar, cheeks afire. I've told you 100 times we're not talking about her. Fine, fine. Then you're worried, aren't you? About the auction? He pauses, smiling and watching me. You shouldn't. I've settled that matter. I'm going to bid on you. Rogue, you don't have the money. Do you know how badly a pixie would pay to get a peerless with my pedigree and connections in their debt? Millions. I could even go to Quicksilver if I need. He loans to goals all the time. Point is, I'll have the money, even if my parents won't help me. So never you worry, brother. He pokes me with his foot. House Mars has to mean something, eh? Thank you, I say, stuttering out the words, unable to really grasp what he's done. And why? It puts his neck out. It endangers him and crosses his parents. No one else has even mentioned the auction to me. They're afraid your bad luck is contagious. You know how it is. He pauses, waiting because he knows me so well. There's something else, isn't there? I shake my head. Do you... My words fail me. Do you ever feel... lost? The question hangs between us. Intimate. Awkward only on my end. He doesn't scoff as Tactus or Fitchner would, or scratch his balls like Severo, or chuckle like Cassius might have, or purr as Victra would. I'm not sure what Mustang might have done, but Rogue, despite his color and all the things that make him different, slowly slides a marker into the book and sets it on the nightstand beside the four-poster, taking his time and allowing an answer to evolve between us. Movements, thoughtful and organic, like dancers were before he died. There's a stillness in him, vast and majestic, the same stillness I remember in my father. Quinn once told me a story. He waits for me to moan a grievance at the mention of a story, and when I don't, his tone sinks into deeper gravity. Once, in the days of old Earth, there were two pigeons who were greatly in love. In those days, they raised such animals to carry messages across great distances. These two were born in the same cage, raised by the same man, and sold on the same day to different men on the eve of a great war. The pigeons suffered apart from each other, each incomplete without their lover. Far and wide their masters took them, and the pigeons feared they would never again find each other, for they began to see how vast the world was, and how terrible the things in it. For months and months they carried messages for their masters, flying over battle lines, through the air, over men who killed one another for land. When the war ended, the pigeons were set free by their masters, but neither knew where to go, neither knew what to do, so each flew home. And there they found each other again, as they were always destined to return home and find, instead of the past, their future. He folds his hands gently, a teacher arriving at his point. So, do I feel lost? Always. When Leah died at the Institute. His lips slipped gently downward. I was in a dark woods, blind and lost as Dante before Virgil. But Quinn helped me. Her voice calling me out of misery. She became my home. As she puts it, home isn't where you're from, it's where you find light when all grows dark. He grasps the top of my hand. Find your home, Darrow. It may not be in the past, but find it, and you'll never be lost again. I've always thought of Lycos as my home, of Io as my home. Perhaps that's where I'm going now, to see her, to die and find home again in the Vale with my wife. But if that's true, why am I not full? Why does the hollowness grow inside me the closer I draw to her? It's time to go, I say, rising from the bed. As sure as I am your friend, Roke begins to rise as well. You will recover from this. We are not our station in life. We are us, the sum of what we've done, what we want to do, and the people who we keep close. You're my dearest friend, Darrow. Mind that. No matter what transpires, I will protect you as surely as you would protect me if ever I needed it. I surprise him by clasping his hand and holding it for a moment. You're a good man, Roke. Far too good for your color. Thank you. He squints at me as I release his hand, and he straightens the wrinkles in his uniform. But whatever do you mean by that? I think we could have been brothers, I say. Were this a different life. Why do we need another life? Then he sees the automatic syringe in my left hand. His hands are too slow to stop me, but his eyes are quick enough to widen in trusting fear, like a loyal dog's, as he's put slowly to sleep in its master's lap. He doesn't understand, but he knows there's a reason. Yet still comes the fear, the betrayal that breaks my heart into 1,000 pieces. The syringe pierces Roke's neck, and he sinks slowly down onto the bed, eyes drifting closed. When he wakes, everyone he has worked with and for over these past 2 years will be dead. He will remember what I did to him after he said I was his closest friend. He will know that I knew what was going to happen at the gala. And even if I don't die tonight, even if they do not discover I was the bomber by other merits, saving Roke's life means I will be found out. There is no going back. Chapter 11. Red. Tonight, I killed 2,000 of humanity's great. Yet I walk with them now, untouched by decadence and condescension as never before. Pliny's arrogance raises none of my blood. Victra's immodest dress does not disconcert me, not even when she slips her arm in mine after Tactus offers her his. She whispers in my ear how silly she is for forgetting her undergarments. I laugh like it's a merry joke, trying to mask the coldness that's taken me over. This is static. I suppose Darrow deserves some consolation before he leaves, Tactus says with a sigh. Have you seen Roke, my goodman? Said he was feeling ill. That's very Roke of him. Likely coiled around a book. I should fetch him. If he wanted to come, he would come, I say. I want him to come, Tactus replies. He shrugs at the other lancers who jockey for position close to our master. If you need him so badly, go fetch him, I say, tactically. He flinches. I need no one on my arm. But if I didn't know you better, I'd think you're still bitter about the whole escape pod affair. You mean when you launched it without him? Victor asks. Why would that ever bother him? Even now, that betrayal stings me. I thought he was dead. It was simple calculation. He bumps my shoulder with his fist and nods to Victor. You understand. Had to watch out for the lady here. She is a delicate little flower, I say, pulling her away. Woe for the lone god of the sea, Tactus hums melodically. His friends like mine abandoned he. Victor adjusts the gold pauldron on her shoulder, which winds its way down her arm in a series of golden cuffs. That darling boy is so vain he could make a thunderstorm be about him. She notices my lack of care. The bidding won't begin till after the gala. She nods to a landing air car. Well, I was wondering when he'd show. The jackal exits the car, skin faintly pink only in patches. His yellows did him well. He bows faintly to his father, ignoring the murmurs of the aides. Father, he says, I thought it fitting if the family Augustus arrived at the gala with at least one of your children. We must present a united front, after all. Adrius. Augustus eyes his son for something to criticize. I wasn't aware you enjoyed banquets these days. I'm not sure the fare will be to your liking. The jackal laughs theatrically. Perhaps that's why my invitation was not delivered. Or was it the furore over the terrorist attacks? No matter. I'm here now, and ever eager to attend your side. The jackal falls in, smiling broadly to all, knowing his father will never escalate family quarrels in public. He offers me a particularly sinister sneer, one others see and shrink away from. All stage. Shall we? I mind myself and say little as I follow with Victor at the end of the long procession that snakes its way through labyrinthine marble halls from our villa to the Citadel Gardens, some 2 kilometers distant. The Sovereign's Tower juts from the floor of the garden there, a grand 2-kilometer-high sword piercing a groomed garden thick with rose trees and streams. Water runs through the garden in 1,000 winding paths. Babbling brooks with colored fish lead to quiet lagoons where carved pink mermaids swim under flowering trees crawling with monkey cats. Rangy tiger lynx lounge below the boughs. Violets wander through these bright woods, flitting here and there like summer moths, their violins echoing in eerie concert. It is a picture of Bacchus's night gardens without the obscene sexuality the Greeks found so hilarious. Pixies would chuckle at that smut, but peerless do not. At least not in public. We glimpse other processions through the trees, see their standards, great flashing things of moving fabric and metal. Our red and gold lion crest roars in silent challenge. A raven on a field of silver marks the passing of the family Falth over a cobblestone bridge. We eye their lord and his lancers warily. As a matter of course, all carry razors, but other tech is forbidden. No datapads, no grav boots, no armor. This is a classical affair. The tower yawns above us. Purple, red, and green mosses climb the base of the great structure with vines of 1,000 hues, wrapping the glass and stone like the fingers of greedy bachelors around the wrist of a rich widow. 6 great lifts bear families skyward to the top of the tower. Beautiful pink servants and brown footmen service the lift, all in white. Gold triangles of the society decorate their livery. The lift is flat, marble with grav thrusters. It sits in the middle of the clearing, where green grass flutters in the wind. Several coppers rush forward to talk with Pliny, who, as Politico, speaks on behalf of the Arch-Governor. There seems to be some confusion. The Falth family files into the lift ahead of us. This is a social trap. Augustus mutters back to his favorite ward. Leto draws closer. The fools. See how they feign accident? Soon they will tell us we must use the lift with the Falths, when instead they should grovel to have us go before them. Could it not be an accident? Leto asks. Not on Luna. Augustus crosses his arms. Everything is politics. The winds shift. They've been shifting for some time now, Augustus murmurs. His sharp face surveys his aides, as if making an accounting of the razors we carry. Some wear them coiled at their sides, others wear them around their forearms, like I do, with my borrowed blade. Tactus and Victra each use them as sashes. I want 3 lancers attending the Arch-Governor at all times, Leto announces quietly. We nod, the pack tightening. No drinking. Tactus moans in protest. Expressionless, the jackal watches Leto give orders. Pliny returns from speaking with the Citadel staff. Sure enough, we're to share the lift with the Falths. But something more menacing fills the air. Our obsidians and greys are to be left behind. All families ought to proceed to the gala without attendants, he says. No bodyguards. Murmurs go through our ranks. Then we won't go, the jackal says. Don't be a fool, Augustus replies. Your son is right, Leto says. Nero, the danger... Some invitations are more dangerous to decline than to accept. Belfroon, Iofo. Augustus makes a cutting motion to his stained. The 2 men nod silently and join the others to the side. Genuine emotion, worry, fills their eerie eyes as we join the Falths on the lift and ascend. The head of the Falth house smiles. His station improves. The gala upon the roof of the Sovereign's Tower is modelled as a winter fairyland. Snow falls from invisible clouds. It dusts the spear-like pines of man-made forests and frosts my short hair with snowflakes that taste like cinnamon and orange. Breath billows in front of me. The Arch-Governor's appearance is noted with trumpet calls. Tactus and some of the younger lancers cut the Falths off, obstructing their path so Augustus can enter the gala first. A body of pale gold and bloody red, we move into a grand landscape of evergreens. The pride of gold culture awaits us. A terrible sea of faces that have seen things the first men could never even dream. You can see glimmers of our shared past at the Institute. The charmers of Apollo, the killers of Mars, the beauties of Venus. Beneath the spire, the citadel sprawls, and beyond those grounds glisten the cities with all their million lights. You would never guess that beneath that sea of twinkling jewels lurks a second city of filth and poverty. Worlds within worlds. Try not to lose your head, Victra whispers to me, raking a clawed hand through my hair before going to speak with friends of hers from Earth. I walk toward our table. Great chandeliers hover overhead on small grav thrusters. Light sparkles. Dresses move like liquid around perfect human forms. The pinks serve delicacies and spirits on plates and in goblets of ice and glass. Hundreds of long tables spread concentrically around a frozen lake at the center of the winter land. The pinks wear skates to serve here. Beneath the ice, shapes move. Not sexualized perversities as one would find entertaining pixies and low colors, but mystical creatures with long tails and scales that glitter like the stars. In another life, it would have been Mickey's dream to have a creature commissioned for this feast. I smile to myself. I suppose, in a way, he already has. The tables are neither named nor numbered. Instead, we find our place as we see a great lion seated upon the center of our table, nearly motionless. Each family's table is so claimed by their sigil. There are griffins and eagles, ice fists and huge iron swords. The lion purrs contentedly as Tactus steals a serving tray of appetizers from a pink and sets it between the beast's massive paws. "Eat, beast, eat!" he cries. Pliny finds me. His hair is bound behind him in a tight, complicated braid. His clothing, for once, is as severe as his pointed nose, like he means to impress the peerless about him with his hawkish features and sparse accoutrements. I'll be introducing you to several interested parties later in the evening. When I signal for you, I expect you to join me. He looks around distractedly, seeking important persons for his own aims. Till then, cause no trouble, and mind your manners. No trouble. I take out my Pegasus pendant. On my family's honor. Yes, he says without looking. And what a noble family it is. I gaze around the gala. Hundreds mill about already, with more arriving by the minute. How long should I wait? It is difficult to hold on to the rage that made me embrace this decision. They killed my wife. They killed my child. But no matter the anger I summon by reminding myself, I cannot burn away the fear that I steer the rebellion toward a cliff. This will not be for Eo's dream. It will be for the satisfaction of those living. To sate their lust for vengeance, rather than honoring those who have already sacrificed everything. And it'll be irreversible. But so is the course that has been set. So many doubts. Is this me being a coward? Rationalizing inaction? I'm thinking too much. That makes a bad soldier. And that is what I am. A soldier for Ares. He gave me this body. I should trust him now. So I take the Pegasus and slap it on the underside of Augustus's table, just near the table's end. A toast? Someone says. I turn and find myself face to face with Antonia. I've not seen her since the Institute, when Severo pulled her down from the cross she was nailed to by the jackal. I flinch away, mind flashing to the night she cut Leah's throat, all to draw me out of the dark. I thought you were on Venus studying politics, I say. We've graduated, she replies. I did enjoy your christening. Watched it several times with my friends. Odious scent, urine. She sniffs me, hard to get out. Nature was cruel to make her so terribly beautiful. Full lips, legs nearly as long as mine, skin smooth as river stone, and hair like spun golden yarn from that storybook about the Princess of Cinders. All a mask for the wretched creature beneath. I can tell you missed me while I was away. She hands me a goblet of wine. So, let us toast to a good reunion. It makes little sense to me that we live in a world where she can stand here, weaving her evil webs, when my wife is dead, when kind golds like Leah and Pax have been ground to ash and shot into the sun. Vichna once said something to me, Antonia. It seems appropriate now. I raise my goblet in a polite toast. Oh, Vichna, she sighs, her breasts rising aggressively from her too-tight golden dress. The bronze rodent has been making a name for himself here. Whatever did he say? A man can never miss chlamydia. I dump the wine out in front of her and push past. She grabs my arm and pulls me back to her, bringing me close enough that I feel the heat of her breath. They're coming, she says. The Bologna are coming for you. You should run now. She looks at my razor. Unless you think you're good enough with that to beat Cassius in a duel. She releases me. Good luck, Darrow. I will miss having an ape at the ball. More than Mustang will, at least. I pay no attention to her words and wander away, willing more houses to fill the gala so that I may end this soon. A host of praetors, quaestors, justiciars, governors, senators, family heads, house leaders, traders, 2 Olympic knights, and 1,000 others come to bid my master a good evening. These older men talk of outrider attacks on Uranus and Ariel, a foolish rumor of a new Rage Knight already gaining the armor, mysterious Sons of Ares bases on Triton, and a resurgent strain of plague on one of Earth's dark continents. Light fare. Many others take my master aside, as though 100 eyes did not watch their every move, and with voices like syrup tell him of whispers in the night, of shifting winds and dangerous tides. The metaphors mix. The point is the same. Augustus has fallen out of favor with the sovereign, the same way I have fallen out of favor with him. The ships flitting above in the night sky are as distant from the conversation as I. My attention has fallen upon the sovereign herself. How strange a thing to see the woman just there beyond the dance floor, at the raised podium, speaking with other house lords and men who rule the lives of billions. So close, so human and frail. Octavia Aulun stands with her coterie of women, the 3 Furies, sisters she trusts above all others. For her part, the sovereign is more handsome than beautiful, face impassive as a mountain's. Her silence is her power. I see her speech as seldom, but she listens. Always she listens to words, as the mountain listens to the whispering and screaming of wind through its crags, around its peaks. I see a man standing alone near a tree. He's near as thick around as its trunk. A hand dwarfs his small goblet, and he wears the mark of a sword with wings. A praetor with a fleet. I approach him. He sees me coming and smiles. Darrow au Andromedus. Carnus growls. I snap my fingers at a passing pink. Taking 2 of the wine goblets from his ice tray, I pass one to Carnus. I thought that before you come to kill me, we might as well share a drink. There's a sport. He downs his own drink and takes the one I offer him. He eyes me over the glass. You're not a poisoner, are you? I'm not so subtle. Equal company, then. All these snakes about. He grins like a crocodile, dark gold eyes tracing the men and women. The wine is gone in a moment. It's strangely decadent tonight. I hear Quicksilver arranged the festivities. I say, only on Luna would they let a silver pretend he's a gold. Karnas grunts. I hate this moon. He takes a delicacy off a passing tray. Food's too heavy, everything else too light. Though I hear the sixth course will be something to die for. Noting his strange tone, I cross my arms and watch the party. It's a strange comfort being around this hateful man. Neither one of us has to pretend to like the other. No masks here. At least, not as much as usual. He chuckles deeply. Julian would have liked this fancy fare. He was a simpering, vile child. I turn to examine the killer. Cassius said only pretty things about him. Cassius. He snorts out something like a laugh. Cassius once wounded a bird with a slingshot. Came to me crying because he knew he had to kill it to put it out of its misery, but he couldn't. I dropped a rock on it for him, just like you did. He smirks. I should thank you for sweeping away the genetic chaff. Julian was your brother, man. He pissed the bed as a boy. Pissed the bed. Always tried hiding the sheets by giving them to the laundry women himself. Like we didn't own the laundry women. He was a boy who did not deserve his mother's favor or his father's name. He grabs another glass of wine from a passing pink. They try to make it tragedy, but it isn't. It's natural law. Julian was more of a man than you are, Karnas. Karnas laughs in delight. Oh, do explain that one. In a world of killers, it takes more to be kind than to be wicked. But men like you and me, we're just passing time before death reaches down for us. Which will be soon for you. He nods to my razor. Pity you weren't raised in our house. We learned the blade before we learned to read. My father had us make our blades, had us name them and sleep beside them. You might have stood a chance then. Wonder what you would have been if he had taught you something else. I am what I am, Karnas says, taking another drink. And they sent me after you. Me, of all the sons and daughters, because I am the best at what I am. I watch him for a moment. Why? Why what? You have everything, Karnas. Wealth, power, 7 brothers and sisters. How many cousins? Nieces, nephews? A father and mother who love you, yet you are here, drinking alone, killing my friends. Setting the purpose of your life to ending me. Why? Because you wronged my family. No one wrongs the Bologna and lives. So it's pride. It's always pride. Pride is just a shout into the wind. He shakes his head, voice deepening. I will die. You will die. We will all die, and the universe will carry on without care. All that we have is that shout into the wind. How we live, how we go, and how we stand before we fall. He leans forward. So you see, pride is the only thing. His eyes leave mine and look across the room.
Pride and women.
I follow his eyes, and I see her then. She wears black amid a sea of gold, white, and reds. Like a dark spectre, she glides in, out of the lift, near the edge of the fake forest. She rolls her flashing eyes, twists her smirking mouth at the heads that turn in her direction to stare at her funereal gown. Black. A colour to show disdain for all the merry gulls about. Black like the colour of the military uniform I now wear. I'm reminded of the warmth of her flesh, the mischief in her voice, the smell at the nape of her neck, the kindness of her heart. I stare so hard I almost miss her escort. I wish I had missed him. It is Cassius.
Time is money, friend.
He of the bloody damn golden curls is with the girl who nursed me to health in the winter, who helped me remember Eo's dream. His hand on her waist, his lips whispering into her ear. As surely as Cassius Albellona put a sword in my stomach, he now sticks a dagger in my heart. His hair is thick and lustrous, his chin cleft, hands steady, shoulders powerful, made for war, face made for the hearts of court. And he wears the rising sun of the morning night. The rumors are true. It rips through the party. The Sovereign has made him one of the 12. Despite the fact that I won the Institute, he's risen higher, tearing through the dueling circuit on Luna like an ancestor possessed. I've watched him on the HC, watched him stalk around the bleeding place as another gold lies near death. But here, now, he dazzles, charms, face split with a white smile. In his golden body, he has all I have and more. He is faster on his feet than I, as tall, more handsome, wealthier. He has a better laugh, and people think him kinder. Yet he has none of my burdens. Why, too, does he deserve this girl, who makes all but Io pale in comparison? Does she not know how petty he is? How cruel his heart can be? I cannot go to her, not even when I draw close enough to hear her laugh. If she saw me, I think I would shatter. Would there be guilt in her eyes? Awkwardness? Am I a shadow over her happiness? Will she even care that I see her with him? Or will she think me pathetic for approaching her? It aches. Not that I suspect Mustang is being petty and seeking my enemy, but because I know she is not petty. If she is with Cassius, it is because she cares for him. It aches deeper than I thought it would.
And so you see.
Carnus's hand falls heavily on my shoulder.
You will not be missed.
Tightness spreads through my chest as my shoulders carve a path out of the gala. I take a smaller lift down, away from these people who know only how to hurt, away into the woods where I find a bridge that spans a fast-flowing stream. I lean over the polished railing, gasping for air, each breath a statement. I do not need Mustang. I do not need any of these greedy creatures. I'm done with their games of power. Done with trying to goad on my own. I was not good enough to be a husband. Not good enough that my wife would let me be a father. Not good enough to be a gold. Now I'm not good enough for Mustang. I failed to do what I set out to do. Failed to rise. But I won't fail now. Not now. I take the ring the Sons gave me, hand trembling, nerves stampeding. I want to retch. There's so much wrong inside of me. I take the cold ring to my lips, say the words and the corrupt perish. Say, break the chains. And Victra vanishes. Cassius evaporates. Augustus melts. Karnus dissolves. Mustang dies. Across the solar system, bombs ripple and Red rises to an uncertain future. Trust in Ares. Just trust he knows what he is doing. Break the chains. I tried to say the words, Eo's last before she hanged, but they do not come. Force it out. Damn it. Make my mouth work. But it won't. It can't. Because inside I know that this is wrong. It isn't the violence. It isn't compassion for the people I would kill. It's anger. Killing them proves nothing. It solves nothing. How could this be Ares' plan? Io said if I rose, others would follow. But I've not yet risen. I've not yet done as she asked of me. I am not an example. I am an assassin. I do not have an excuse to give up, to hand over her dream to others. Ares never knew Io. He never saw the spark in her. I did. Before I draw my last breath, I must build the world she wanted to raise our child in. That was her dream. That was why she sacrificed, so others would not have to. And I will not let others decide my fate. Not now. I do not trust in Ares if it means I must reject Io. Not if it means I must sacrifice my trust in myself. I wipe the tears from my face. Anger replaced by purpose. There must be another way. A better way. I have seen the cracks in their society, and I know what I must do. I know what the Gulls most fear. And it has nothing to do with Reds rising. It has nothing to do with bombs or plots or revolution. What terrifies the Gulls is simple, cruel, and as old as mankind itself. Civil war. Part 2. Break. If you're a fox, play the hare. If you're a hare, play the fox. Lorne au Arcos. Chapter 12. Blood for blood.
Strength and honor.
I stalk back into the gala. The Gulls have taken their seats and formalities have begun in earnest. I am not subtle as I duck beneath the table and scrounge around on the ground to find the Pegasus pendant. I put it in my pocket, straighten my jacket, ignore the questioning glances and move boldly away from Augustus's table towards the object of my interest. Pliny hisses my name. I pass him by. He knows nothing of what I have in store. I weave through the tables that seat the noble families, gathering eyes as a stone rolling down the mountain gathers snow. I feel them adding to my velocity. My gait is careless, my hands coiled with danger like the muscles of a pit viper. Thousands watch me. Whispers form a cloak behind us. They realize my target. He sits at his long table, surrounded by his family members. A perfect golden man, attentively listening to his sovereign speak. She preaches of unity. Order and tradition are paramount. No one rises yet to challenge me. Perhaps they don't understand. Or perhaps they feel the force of me now and dare not rise. The Bellona notice the whispers now, and they turn, almost as one, a family of 50 and more, to see me, a martial man, all in black. Young, untested in war, unblooded beyond the halls of the Institute and the asteroids of the Academy. Some have reasoned me mad. Some have called me brave. Tonight, I'm both. The weight is gone. All the pressure I let crush me as I worried about expectations, as I gentle-footed around making a decision. All velocity, I tell myself. Don't freeze. Don't stop. Never stop. The Sovereign's voice falters now. Too late to go back. I dive in. Smile. And the gala goes dead silent as I spring 30 feet in the low gravity and land hard on the Bologna table. Dishes crack, servers clatter, Bolognas fall back. Some shout at me. Some do not move, even as their wine spills. The Sovereign watches, struck by curiosity. Her fury stirring at her side. Pliny looks about to die. He's gripping his knees in panic. Beside him, the jackal is as strange and unreadable as a lonely desert creature. I did not wear dress shoes tonight. My boots are thick and heavy. They crack the porcelain as I trod toward the Bologna table, shattering dishes of pudding and squishing tender steaks. My blood pumps through me, intoxicating. I lift my voice. I'll have your attention. I crush a plate of peas underfoot. You may know me. There's nervous laughter. Of course they know me. They know everyone of worth, though mine is more of rumor than substance. I see the Furies whispering to the Sovereign. See Tactus grinning his ass off. Carnus leans forward anxiously. Victra's smiling at the jackal. Even see Antonia nudging a tall, serene gold. I avoid looking at Mustang. Pliny gibbers in Augustus's ear. Augustus raises a hand to shut him up. Do I have your attention? I ask. Yes, I do. Boy, sit down, someone shouts. Make him, Tactus replies drunkenly. No? That's what I surmised. For those of you who do not know, I am a lancer of the House of Augustus for another hour or so. They laugh. I am the one they call the Reaper of Mars, who struck down a full peerless knight, who stormed Olympus and made slaves of my proctors. My name is Darrow Au Andromedus, and I have been wronged. We peerless scarred come from golden ancestors, from conquerors with spines of iron. Honorable men, honorable women. But before you today, I see a family that is dishonorable. A family with spines made of chalk. A corrupt and fraudulent family of liars and cowards that conspires to steal my master's governorship illegally. I crush a serving plate with my boots. Who knows if they conspire to do it or not? It sounds good. It seems like they conspire, and it's the mask I need them to wear. Carnus replies beautifully by whipping out his razor and surging toward me. His father, the Imperator, waves him back. Praetor Kellen looks about to grab my feet and jerk me down, or Cagney would no doubt cut my throat with my own razor. The younger girls of their family think me a demon that killed their cousin, brother. They have no idea what I really am. But perhaps Lady Bologna does. Cadaverous in her grief, she sits surrounded by her brood like a withered lioness. They look to her as much as to her husband. The last thing I note is the trembling of her long right hand, as though it aches for a knife with which to cut me. Twice I have been wronged by this family. Once in the mud of the Institute, again at the Academy by that one, and this one, and that one. I point out all those who beat me in the gardens. I see Cassius now near the head of the table, just by his father and mother. Mustang sits beside him, her face a mask. Disappointed, upset, bored. When she quirks an eyebrow at me, I meet her eyes, walk toward her and set my foot on the edge of the wine decanter that sits in front of Cassius. All eyes focus there, like light falling into a black hole. Pausing time, space, bending all forward. Breaths catch. All courts of golden law permit a man to defend his honor against any force that would desecrate it unjustly. From the old lands of Earth to the icy bowels of Pluto, the right of challenge exists for any man and any woman. My name, gentle lords and ladies, is Darrow Au Andromedus. My honor has been pissed on, and I demand satisfaction. I tip the wine over into Cassius's lap. He explodes up at me. Ghouls all over the grand party burst up from their seats in a great roar. Tactus rushes from our table, joined with Leto, Victra, all of the sides and bannermen of the vassals to my arch-governor, the Corvos, the Julii, the Veloxes, the huge Telemanuses, Pax's family. Razors snap into hands. Curses splinter the winter air. Aja, the largest and darkest of the Furies, leans down from the sovereign's table and bellows, "Stop this madness!" It's only begun. My hands shake like they used to in the mine. Now, as then, serpents surround me. You could never hear them, the pit vipers. Could rarely see them. Black as pupils, they slither in the shadows till they strike. But there's a fear that comes when they near. A fear separate from the rumbling of the drill. Separate from the throbbing, nauseating heat that builds in your balls as you carve through 1,000,000 tons of rock, and all the friction radiates up, making a bog of piss and sweat inside your suit. It's fearing the coming of death, like a shadow has passed across your soul. That fear fills me now, as these peerless stand around me, a mass of serpentine gold. Whispering, hissing, deadly as sin. Snow on the ground crunches under my heavy boots. I bend down as the sovereign speaks. She tells of honor and tradition, how martial duels mark the greatness of our race, so she makes an exception for the day. We may duel beyond the gaming grounds. This blood feud must be put to rest here, now, in front of the August of our race. So confident is she in her newest Olympic knight. But why wouldn't she be? He's killed me before. Unlike the cowards of old, we settle flesh to flesh, bone to bone, blood to blood. Vendettas die in the bleeding place. Virtute et armis. The sovereign recites. By valor and arms. No doubt she has already spoken to her advisors. They will say I am outmatched, that Cassius is the better swordsman. It never would have gone this far if she hadn't been assured a beneficial outcome. As it was with our ancestors, it is now and again to the death, she declares. Are there any contentions? I hoped for this. Neither Cassius nor I say a thing. Mustang steps forward to object, but the Fury, Aja, shakes her head, stopping her. Then today, res non verba. Actions, not words. I speak with my master before stepping into the center of the circle that now forms as Browns cart away the tables from the shadowy plain. Pliny hovers beside Augustus, as do Leto, Tactus, Victra, and the great praetors of Mars. So many famous faces, so many warriors and politicians. The jackal stands farther away, shorter than the rest, impassive, speaking to no one. I wonder what he would say to me, were there fewer ears to hear. He does not look angry. Perhaps he's learned to trust in my plans. He nods his head as if reading my thoughts. We are still allied. Is this spectacle for me? For vanity? For love? Augustus asks as I stand before him. His eyes dig into me, trying to find meaning. I can't help but glance over at Mustang. Even now she draws me from my task. You're so young, he nearly whispers. What they tell you in the storybooks is wrong. Love does not survive things like this. Not the love of my daughter, at least. He pauses, reflecting. Her soul is like her mother's. I do not do it for love, my liege. No, no. I bow my head to him and remember Matteo's high lingo. The duty of the son is the father's glory, is it not? I fall to a knee. You are not my son. No. The Bologna killed him, stole him from you. Your firstborn son, Claudius, was all a man could hope for. A son better and wiser than his father. So let me make you a present of their favorite son's head. Enough quibbling, enough of their politics. Blood for blood. My liege, Julian was one thing, but Cassius... Pliny tries. Augustus ignores him. I weep for your blessing. I say again, pressing my master. How long will you keep the sovereign's favor? A month? A year? 2? Soon she will replace you with the Bologna. Look how she favors Cassius. Look how she steals your child. Look how the other goes the way of a silver. Your heirs are depleted. Your time as Archgovernor will end. Let it. For you are not a man fit to be Archgovernor of Mars. You are a man fit to be king of it. His eyes flash. We have no kings. Because none have dared craft themselves a crown, I say. Let this be the first step. Spit in the sovereign's eye. Make me the sword of your family. I pull a knife from my boot and make a quick cut beneath my eye. The blood falls like teardrops. This is an old blessing from the Iron Ancestors, the Conquerors, and it will chill those who see it. A relic of a bygone, harder age. It is a Mars blessing, one of iron and blood, of the raging ships that burned the famed Britannic Armada above Earth's North Pole, and dashed the fast killers from the land of the rising sun amid the asteroid belt. My master's eyes ignite like dormant coals breathed upon. Slowly, then all at once. I have him. I give my blessing freely. What you do, do in my honor. He leans toward me. Rise, Golden-born. Rise, Iron Maid. Augustus touches his finger to the blood, then presses the mark beneath his own eye. Rise, man of Mars, and take with you my wrath. I rise to whispers. This is no simple squabble now between boys. It is the battle of houses, champion against champion. Hic sunt leones, he says, tilting his head, part challenge, part benediction. What a vain swine of a man. He knows my desperation to stay in his good graces. He knows he stands playing with matches on a powder keg, yet his eyes glitter lustfully, hungering for blood and the promise of power, as I hunger for air. Hic sunt leones, I echo. I pace back to the center of the circle, nodding to Tactus and Victra. They touch the handles of their razors, as do the other aides. Our pack mentality is keen. Prime luck, Tactus says. High above, ships swim quietly through the long night. Trees sway in the breeze. Cities sparkle in the distance. Earth hovers like a swollen moon, as I unravel my razor from my forearm. Mustang comes to me, as Cassius's mother kisses his forehead. "So you're a pawn now?" she asks quickly. "And you're a trophy." She flinches before her lips curl into a slight sneer. "You say that to me? I don't even recognize you." "Nor I you, Virginia. Serving the Sovereign now?" But I do recognize her, despite the terrible gulf that now makes her feel more stranger than friend. The tightness in my chest is of her making. So too is the awkward tension in my hands as they yearn to touch her, yearn to hold her and tell her this is all a false guise. I'm not a pawn to her father. I'm more than that. All this is for good, just not their good. "Virginia?" She cocks her head at me, smiling sadly as she spares a glance for the 2,000 waiting peerless. "You know, I've wondered over these last years. I suppose I should have wondered from the start, but you cut such a rare character. It was distracting. But I'll ask now." Her bright eyes cut through me, searching, judging. "Are you insane?" I look over at Cassius. "Are you?" "Jealousy? That's ripe." She leans in with a harsh whisper. "Shame you don't respect me enough to suppose that I have my own plan. You think I'm here because my aching loins thrust me into Bologna arms? Please. I'm no bitch in heat. I protect my family by any means necessary. Who do you protect but yourself? You betray your family by being with him." I have no false answer that may parallel the truth. I must suffer being a villain in her eyes. Yet I can't meet them. Cassius is a wicked man. "Grow up, Darrow." She looks like she's going to say something deeper, but she just shakes her head and, turning, says, "He's going to kill you. I'll try to convince Octavia to end it early." Her words fail her at first. "I wish you hadn't come to this moon." She leaves me, giving Cassius a squeeze on the hand before joining the Sovereign's entourage on the raised dais. "Alone at last, my old friend," Cassius says, slashing me with a smile. Once we were like brothers. We shared food and raced that first day at the Institute, stormed House Minerva together. How we laughed when I stole their cook and Severo their standard. We galloped over the plains that night underneath the light of twin moons. I remember the woe in his eyes when they captured Quinn, when my kin, Titus, beat him and pissed on him. How I felt the tears welling then, when we were like brothers, before it all fell apart. The cinnamon and orange-flavored snow still falls. It settles in his curly hair, on his broad shoulders. It was in the snow that he last fought me, buried rusty steel into my lower gut, and left me dying in my own filth. I have not forgotten how he twisted that blade to make sure the wound did not close. His blade is ebony now. It curls in front of him, over a meter of narrow sword when solid. More than 2 meters of lashing razor whip when loosed with the toggle on the handle, which sends a chemical impulse through the blade's molecular structure. Golden marks line the blade, telling the lineage of his family, their conquests, the triumphs thrown in their honor. Old, arrogant, powerful. My blade is naked, absent of embellishment. "So, I've taken what's yours," he says, walking closer and nodding to Mustang. I laugh. She was never mine, and she's certainly not yours. The white arrives, hustling forward in his robes, head bald, back crooked. "But I've had her in ways you haven't." His voice lowers so only we might hear. "I wonder, Do you lie alone at night, thinking of the pleasures I give her? Does it vex you that I know how she kisses? How she sighs when you touch her neck, just so? I don't answer. That she moans my name instead of yours. He doesn't laugh. He may loathe what he says, but he'd say anything to hurt me. In most ways, he's not a bad man. He's just my bad man. In fact, she moaned as I went inside her this morning. What would Julian say if he could see you now? I ask. He'd echo mother and beg me to kill you. Or would he weep at the devil you'd become? He uncoils his razor and ignites his aegis. My own aegis hums as I activate it, an ion blue transparent energy shield that bows slightly outward from my left glove, 1 foot long by 2 feet wide. Snow melts when I sweep the aegis near the ground. A corona of haze forms around the blue light. We're all devils. His sudden laugh floats up like a silk ribbon, carried away with the breeze. This was always your problem, Darrow. You have an inflated view of yourself. You think you have some sort of morality tucked away. You think you are better than us, when really, you are less. Forever playing games you cannot master against people you cannot match. I matched Julian well enough. Bastard! His face contorts, and he lashes forward, bellowing wordlessly, knocking me back before the white can give the benediction. They shout for us to stop, but as the razors scream, the shouts fade away, and all eyes widen as man-killing metal wails through slow-falling snow. He uses the tenets of cravat. 4 seconds of precise kinetic violence, retreat, assess, engage. We are the only sound in this strange place. The odd, high-pitched...
Allow the music to steady your thoughts and soften your emotions as we prepare to return to the narrative.
As I activate it. In most ways, he's not a bad man. He's just my bad man. As I activate it, an ion blue transparent high-pitched...
Allow the music to steady...
Enemies. Keen of an arching whip, the thrum of the solid blade. The crack as aegises on left arms spark white when blades slash into them. The crunch of snow and the creaking of leather. Despite his anger, Cassius is perfect in his form. His feet shuffle, never crossing. His hips swivel as he lunges in the compact salvos. His breath comes measured, paced. He lashes his whip forward in a sweep, then hardens the blade and swings it up, aiming for my groin. His movements flicker fast, trained, honed by masters and swords of the society. It's easy to see why he has devastated his opponents since childhood, why he gutted me at the Institute. Because his enemies fight like him, but slower. I don't fight like them. I learned that lesson. Now he will learn his. You've been practicing. You can match 6 moves a set, he says, drawing back. He darts forward, feinting high and sweeping low to claim my ankles. But you're still a novice. He sends a flurry of 7 blows at me, almost skewering me through the right shoulder. I recognize the engagement pattern, but I'm still a fraction off his speed. I barely escape, throwing myself out of the way of a thrust at the last moment. 2 more sets of 7 come in quick succession. I barely escape the last, falling to a knee, panting, looking around at the gathered guests. Do you hear that? He asks. I hear nothing but the wind and the throbbing of my heart. That is the sound of dying alone. No one to weep, no one to care, Arcos will care, I whisper. He stiffens. What did you say? Lorn our Arcos will care if his last student dies. I say, dropping the falsely ragged breath, straightening proudly. Cassius stares at me as if he's seen a ghost. He hesitates. So too do those who hear what I say. While you ate, I trained. While you drank, I trained. While you sought pleasure, I trained from the weeks after the Institute to the days before the Academy. Lorn our Arcos doesn't accept students. Cassius hisses. Not for 30 years. He made an exception. Liar. Oh? I laugh. Did you think I came here to be killed? Did you think yourself entitled to my life? No, Cassius. I came here to cut you down before your parents. He steps backward, eyes dancing to his father, to Karnas. I cock my head at him. Come now, brother. Don't you want to see how well I can really fight? He pauses, and I charge him like some night carnivore, shoulders hunched with primeval economy, quiet as the dark itself. Lorn's words come back to me. A fool pulls the leaves, a brute chops the trunk, a sage digs the roots. And so I peel apart his legs, sending set after set into him. Not for the 4 seconds the goals teach, but for 7, then 6, alternating, then breaking the pattern, 12 moves a set. His defense is precise, and if I fought as he taught me to fight, I would die to him. But I was taught to move by my uncle, and to kill by a legend. I rage and spin, leaving my feet and striking down, beating him as a great hurricane, slapping and smashing and hammering him back. And when he attacks, I bow to the side until such time that I can break him, as Lorn our Arcos trained me to do. Move in a circle, never retreat backward. No attack opens when a man allows himself to be pushed backward. Use their force to create new angles. Flow around him. The willow way. Pretty, fluid, like a spring song in defense. Then lashing and horrible as the branches of a willow in deep winter, as glacial winds scream down from the mountains. Inside me, red meets gold. My blade flashes between whip and curved sling blade. It crashes into his sword, and the aegis on his left side crackles from the force of my blows. Cassius falters. He's a prize fighter getting pummeled by a back-alley brawler. I'm laughing madly, and the crowd around is cheering in shock, some screaming when I hit Cassius's aegis so hard it overloads. Sparks hiss from the unit on his arm. I rip open a wound there, one on his elbow, his kneecap, his ankle. I flick the blade up and slash his face. I stop and move backward fluidly, posing with whip as it slithers into a curved sling blade. Those who watch this will never forget. Women are screaming for Cassius. Lovers he has had in his youth, who now watch the man they grew with, the man who bedded them, left them with false promises, and made them think they'd just lost the strongest of a generation. They watch as another man turns them into a throbbing mess of blood. I embarrass him, but it's all for a purpose. All to make that simmering hatred between Bellona and Augustus boil over into war. I pace about the circle like a caged lion till I come in front of Imperator Bellona. Your son is going to die, I say savagely, a foot away from his face. He's thick, square-jawed, kindly with a pointed beard. His eyes shimmer with the promise of tears. He says nothing. He is a noble man, and he will follow the honorable path, even if it means watching his favorite son die. Even in the midst of my rage, I feel the shame. Feel the horror of being the man who comes from the dark to savage a family. Will you just watch? I shout at the Bologna. Imperator Bologna's wife is not so noble. She seethes, glancing at the sovereign accusatorily. I see what she wants. I go back at Cassius. They will have to watch and do nothing, as I watched Io. Lady Bologna, are you noble enough to watch your Cassius die? Watch as he disappears from the world? Her lips curl. She whispers to Carnas, to Cagni. Is that the strength of the House Bologna? Do you watch like sheep as the wolf comes among the fold? I make a grand show of it for the hot-blooded ones. Cassius tries to fight. He stumbles as I cut his kneecap, falling into the snow before scrambling desperately to his feet. His blood makes a shadow in the snow. This is how slowly he killed Titus. He's panicked, glancing at his family, knowing it will be the last time he sees them. They have no veil. This life is their heaven. Despite everything, it is a sad sight, and I pity him. Cagni, urged on by Lady Bologna, has already taken a step forward, her sharp, pretty face riven with rage. I just need to hurt her strong cousin Cassius a little more. But Imperator Bologna jerks her back with a stern hand. He glares darkly at Augustus, then peers around the assembly. No Bologna shall interfere. On my honor. Yet his wife does not agree. She aims one more pointed glance at the sovereign, and the sovereign raises a hand. Hold, she calls. Hold, Andromedus. I'm actually stunned by the interruption. All look to the sovereign's dais. Cassius pants for breath. She can't be so stupid. Can she? The interruption confirms the rumors for me, for everyone. The sovereign reveals her favoritism. She's chosen the Bologna family. They will supplant the Augustuses on Mars. Cassius would have been important to that plan. Now, because of her miscalculation, he's about to die, and her plan is going to be squabbed. Still, I had no idea she'd do as she's about to do. It is so stupid, so short-sighted. Her pride has made her a fool. There has been an addendum to the rules. Since the White was unable to give the customary benediction, the contest will be to death or yielding, she declares, glancing at Cassius's mother. Those are the limits to the duel. So many of our prized children are lost at our schools. No need to waste these two prime men on account of schoolyard pranks. My sovereign, Augustus calls, greedy for his bloody prize. The law is clear. Once a contest is declared, the rules may not be altered by man or woman. You cite laws. That's a pleasant irony, coming from you, Nero. There are snickers from the crowd, which tell me rumors of his involvement with rigging the Institute for the Jackal are very much in fashion. My sovereign, we stand with Augustus in this matter. Booms a voice. Daxo au Telemanus steps forward. Pax's elder brother, tall as my friend was, but less beastly. More a pine tree than a great boulder of a man. Like his father, Cavax, his head is bald, but engraved with golden angels. A mischievous sparkle dances in sleepy eyes nestled under great swirling eyebrows. Hardly a surprise, snarls Cassius's mother. Perfidy! Cavax, Daxo's father, roars. He alternates, stroking his forked red beard and the large pet fox he cradles in his left arm. This reeks of perfidy and favoritism. My temper is slow, but I find myself offended. Offended! Careful, Cavax. Octavia says icily. Some things cannot be unsaid. Why else would he say them? Daxo asks, glancing at the families from the gas giants, where he knows he will find allies in this debate. But I believe he would counsel you now, my sovereign. Even your words cannot change law. Your father discovered this by your own hand, no? The sovereign's furies step forward menacingly. For her part, the sovereign allows herself only the strictest of smiles. But, young Telemanos, you fail to remember. My word is law. This is something you do not do. A gold may rule other golds, but declare your rule at your own peril. The sovereign has been so long on the morning throne that she has forgotten this. Her words are not law. They now become a challenge. One I accept with open arms. She knows the word's a mistake when she meets my eyes, and we both realize in that moment there is one move I can make that she cannot counter. You will not steal what is mine, I growl. I wheel on Cassius. He brings up his blade. He never let me yield in the mud of the Institute. He knows I will not let him yield now. His face goes pale as I charge. He's thinking of all he's about to lose, how very precious his life is. A gold to the end. Others shouted me to stop, screaming that it's unfair. This is the definition of fairness. They would have let me die. He lunges from my throat. It's a feint. He whips his razor down to wrap around my leg. He expects me to recoil. I charge straight at him, inside the arch of his swing, jump over his head in the low gravity, then swing my whip backward without looking. My whip coils around his extended right arm. I press the button that makes the razor contract, and with the sound of a frozen tree branch cracking in winter, I claim the sword arm of Cassius Au Bellona. It's equal parts silence and screams. I do not turn, not for a long moment. When I do, I find Cassius still standing, teetering, not long for this world. No one else moves as Cassius falls. His father looks at the ground, silent. I said, stop! The sovereign shouts. Two furies jump from the dais, landing with their blades dancing into hand. Finish it, Augustus commands. I stalk toward Cassius. He spits at me, lips trembling, contemptuous even now. I raise my blade, then a hand settles around my wrist, not an iron grip, a soft one, warm against my skin, delicate. You've won, Darrow, Mustang says quietly, coming around in front of me so her eyes meet mine. The Furies pause outside the circle. Don't lose yourself to this. I could not imagine Io watching me from the veil. In this hell, I've lost my faith. Mustang brings it sweeping back. Io may watch me, or she may not. Only one thing is certain. Mustang watches me now, and what I see in her eyes is enough to let my hand fall to my side. It's then she smiles, as if seeing me again for the first time in years. There you are.
How kind of you.
Kill him! Screams Cassius's mother. Kill him now! No! Roars Imperator Bellona. Too late. Mustang's eyes widen. I turn in time to see the circle dissolve, crumbling inward as though it were made of sand. Not altogether, but tentatively. One Bellona sprints at me in silence. Low, deadly. Another follows. Then Tactus comes from the Augustus group. Then another Lancer. I hear my friend's war howl. A second echoes. There's more than just one gold present who was in my army. Cagney Au Bellona is first to me. My stolen blade rasps toward my neck. I duck, but I would have lost my head had Mustang not thrown up her own blade to deflect the slash. Sparks sting my face, and Tactus takes Cagney from the side, cutting her clean in half. Screams. The bleeding place collapses entirely. Golds of Bellona and Augustus sprint to protect their fellows. Others flee. Carnus slashes at Tactus. Too much for my friend. I rush to his aid, saving him till Victra and others come between Carnus and us. Mustang is lost in the fray. I search frantically for her. A blade flashes at my head. Shouts boom as the sovereign calls for peace, but it is beyond her. A woman screams at Cagney's ruined body. Dozens of men and women, all with blades, slash into one another. Tactus tosses me the razor Cagney stole. Then he takes a blade through the shoulder, defending me again. I spin to my friend's aid and hack the arm off the Bellona man as he pulls his blade out of Tactus. I jerk my friend toward me, slashing a path clear. A blade scratches my forearm. I glimpse Mustang in the chaos, covering Cassius's wounded body. I don't know if the Bellona will kill her. They let her sit at the table. Still, I don't know. I rush toward her, throwing my weight into the bodies between us. Tactus helps. I smash into a woman. Antonia. Her eyes light up as she brings a knife up to my stomach, but Victra, her sister, punches her in the face, and Tactus starts kicking her in the head as she falls. Victra offers me a laughing smile, until Carnus jerks her down by her hair. He's fought off as Leto enters the fray, turning back the tide with the precise thrusts of his rainbow razor. The Telemanusters join him, father and son decimating the Golds who come before them with razors half the size of my body. "Tactus, on me!" I shout. Tactus is bleeding, but he's up and howling madly like he's still fighting beside Severo. Together we jump high in this easy gravity. He knows I go for Mustang, but the Bellona are too thick. Razors too deadly. "Mustang!" I shout, fending two Bellonas off. Slash away one's face and punch another in the throat with my aegis. Another joins them, and another, till there's a thick Bellona bulwark blocking my path. "Protect the Arch-Governor!" Mustang shouts at me, voice more composed than my own, making me feel an idiot obsessed with chivalry. Of course she does not need me to save her. "Protect my father!" And though I can't see her among the throng, I obey. I let Tactus jerk me away by the collar toward our retreating line, which is being assailed from the side. Someone else roars for us to protect Augustus. Others scream to defend Imperator Bellona and Cassius. Many family lords have been carried away by the armed cadres of family members who back out of the chaos with their blades at the ready. They flee the spire, using the lifts to take them from the place as grav boots were forbidden. It's nearly deserted. The Sovereign's Praetorians, purple and black-clad obsidians and golds, cluster around and fly her from the ruined gala. Razors and pulse blades fill calloused hands. Greys come, led by golds and Praetorian purple, to disperse us. They wear riot gear, and their scorchers shoot painballs and scatterwaves at the battling families, scattering the golds like summer flies. "Augustus!" Huge Carnus screams as he rushes from the Bellona ranks through the scatterwaves like a madman. He knocks someone down with his shoulder, shatters a lancer's face with his aegis, and charges headlong at Augustus, hoping to kill his family's rival in one fell swoop. "Augustus!" Leto, our best swordsman and Augustus's ward, intercepts him in front of the Arch-Governor. "Hic sunt leones!" he calls to the sky. Leto moves like the sea, fluid and terrible in his grace. He crashes Carnus back and is about to open him along the belly when suddenly he falters, freezes mid-swing. Karnas stumbles back, then straightens, perhaps confused that he is still alive. He cocks his head at Leto, who reaches for his thigh, as though stung. Leto sinks slowly to a knee, arms sluggish. His long hair tumbles over his face. Then he seems to freeze in place, suddenly motionless in the center of the chaos. Sad eyes glow with the engine plume of a passing ship as it ghosts peacefully into the horizon. He is beautiful in that moment, before Karnas chops off his head. Leto! Augustus roars. His eyes widen, and he pushes against the Telemanos men, who bear him away. I glimpse the jackal, tucking his silver stylus into his sleeve, the one he spun on his fingers as he proposed our secret alliance. We lock eyes. He grins toothily. And I know I've made a deal with the devil. Chapter 13. Mad Dogs. We flee the top of the spire. I had to leave Mustang behind. She knows what she's doing. Somehow, I had managed to forget that. She always knows what she's bloody doing. They won't hurt her, Augustus says to me. And I believe it's the first time I've seen emotion on his face. No, the second time. When he screamed for Leto, it was as if he'd lost a son. He looks that way now, face slack and older by 20 years. He lost his eldest son. He lost his second wife, the mother of his children. Now he loses the man he adopted to replace that son, and he fears for the woman who reminds him of that wife. If they do hurt her, it's on me. I've set things in motion. For once, it couldn't have gone better. Blood trickles down my hands, sheeting between the fingers, pooling around the cuticles in a horseshoe. Knuckles flex white where there is no blood. It disgusts me, but this is what my hands were made for. We flee the place of winter and trees, having drenched it red. Many carry our wounded, nearly a dozen in number. 7 dead. Barely 20 unscathed in the entire entourage. Others are missing. Matchless Leto is gone. Pliny's aide was cut apart, and one of our praetors took a blade in her neck from Kellen Aubalon. I carry the praetor in my arms and try to staunch the bleeding as we take the lift down the spire. Hard chance. Victra presses a piece of her dress against the wound. I'd give anything for a pair of grav boots. We cluster tight around our lord, razors out. Blood soaks my arm to the elbow. Sweat dribbles down my face and ribs. Red drops splatter at our cadre's feet against the lift's floor, dripping from hands, wounds, blades. Yet there are white smiles slashing the faces around me. I'm hot in my uniform, so I undo the top buttons. Tactus bleeds beside me. His wound goes through his left shoulder, clean thrust. It's just blood, he tells Victra, who worries over him. It's a hole in you. Not a strange thing. He smiles at her waistline. Gory hell. You've a hole in you, and you don't see me complaining. Ow! He yelps as she jams a bandage from her dress onto his wound. He laughs in pain a second more, then looks at me and shakes his head, eyes wild and happy. Training with Lorne our Arcos, man. You sneaky pods. He saved me from Cagney. I nod and bump bloody fists, past slights and wages on my life temporarily forgotten. Many of the other goals, the praetors, the knights, the martial men and women in particular, and we have more in proportion to our politicos and economists than most houses, wipe their brows, leaving ruddy smears. These are the sort of golds who would tell you the problem with being a gold is that everyone is already conquered. Means no one worth fighting. No one to use all that training and all that power against. Well, I just gave them a fresh taste of battle. And even though their governor's ward is dead, even though their chief praetor bleeds out on my shoulder and Mustang is in enemy hands, they want to play, and making corpses is the game of the day. Old and young look at me hungrily, waiting to be fed. This is what it's like being the alpha, the primus. The others look to you for guidance. They can smell the tangy odor of blood on you before it's even there. Age doesn't matter. Experience doesn't matter. All that matters is that I provide these sick sons of bitches with fresh kills. Children cry around us, startling me. Such fragile things on a night like this. The sons and daughters of Augustus's youngest sister. Their father strokes their hair to calm them. Snorting, his wife bends and slaps each child across the face till they cease their whining. Be brave. Our obsidians and greys are not waiting for us on the ground. They've been taken somewhere. Neither are the sovereign's obsidians or her golds coming through the air, which means she hasn't yet decided what to do. Just as I thought. She can't slaughter us. For a house to wipe out another house is one thing, but for the great leader to do it, with the power and funds entrusted to her by the Senate, it's happened before, and that sovereign was beheaded by his daughter. The daughter who now sits on the throne. Oh, she must hate me for this. Below the lift, lights glow along the cobbled paths that cut through the huge forest of flower trees. The musicians no longer play. Instead, we hear shouts and screams, and long periods of terrifying silence. Golds run beneath, fleeing to the stone halls past the forest where they can access their ships, fly home. Only some aren't fleeing. They're hunting. Something has happened I did not expect. Other family feuds find satisfaction tonight. It felt the same at the Institute when the other students realized it wasn't a game, that there weren't rules. An eerie feeling. A notion that devils roam the grounds instead of men. Who knows what anyone will do now that the rules are gone? There are 4 hunters in the distance. A pack of 3 men and 1 young woman dash silently through the forest. They hop a brook, running with all the vigor of the hungry, all the ambition of youth. From House Falth, it seems. I recognize raisin-eyed Lilith, the girl the jackal sent to deliver the hollow of me killing Julian to Cassius. With her is Scipio, the stout young man who once aided Antonia in and out of the bedroom. We watch them in silence as our lift descends. Carrying death, the lean pack streaks through the trees toward an unsuspecting line of House Thorn family members, all in dresses and suits of red and white. Too late, they head frantically for the stone halls. Their standard is the rose. It falls as the killers burst from the trees. A family dies. Scary how quiet and fast it is with razors. Different from my duel. I took my time. They don't. I see a boy of 10 cut apart. There's no mercy for gold children. They're not seen as innocent. They're enemy seeds. Destroy them or fight them years from now. A woman in a ball gown slashes back, manages to kill one of the false before being cut down. 2 children run. One is caught, the other escapes. She's the only one. Then the Falth Lancers dance, taking large, exaggerated stomps. They turn in different directions, grinding their toes into the dark ground. Only they aren't dancing. Gory hell! Tactus curses and rubs his face. The children, Victor whispers. Augustus says nothing, face resolute as stone. The Thorns have 15 children. Tears bead in Victor's eyes, surprising me. Monsters. The Jackal whispers, sending chills up my spine because his acting is so damn good. He couldn't give a piss. Children. Would Io have sung if she'd known this was the chorus? We all carry burdens, and as the killers slip away from the murdered family, I know my burden will crush me under its weight one day. Just not today. Data jammer deployed, says Daxus Autelemanus. He flashes me the datapad on his wrist. Datapads are dead. They don't want us contacting our ships in orbit. Augustus looks at his blank datapad and says that soon the other families will be summoning their obsidian, gold, and grey attendants. We must be off-planet and back in a position of strength before the tide turns against us. You made this chaos, Dara. Deliver me from it. He leans toward me and feels the pulse of the praetor I carry. Get rid of her. She'll be dead in a minute. He wipes his hands. The children weigh us down enough already. The praetor murmurs something to me as I set her on the floor of the lift. I don't know what she says. When I die, I will say nothing, because I know the veil waits on the other side. What waits for this warrior? Only darkness. I didn't even understand her last words. We discard her like a broken sword. I close her eyes with my bloody fingers, leaving long, fading marks. Victor squeezes my shoulder, noting the respect I give. Standing, I give my orders to the lancers and the other men of war. There are 15 I would consider good killers, some my age, others well into old age, yet not one contradicts me, not even Pliny. The Telemanuses in particular seem eager to follow. Each holds my gaze longer than necessary, nodding deeper than mere formality. I hope no one is bored. They laugh. We'll have company if another family decides they may earn favor with the Bologna or the Sovereign by taking the Archgovernor's head. I say, we must kill that company and carve our way to the hangars. Telemanus, you and your son are now the Archgovernor's shadows. Attend nothing else. Do you understand? They nod their massive heads. Hic sunt leones. Hic sunt leones. When the lift reaches ground, 40 men and women wait for us. Family Norvo of Triton and family Kodovan of Jupiter's moons. Unfortunate odds, Tactus sighs. Kodovan and Norvo are ours, Augustus replies. Bought and paid for. Rapscallion! Kodovan, you rapscallion! Kavix thunders. I thought you were a Bologna man. So did they. Augustus expected something like this. I take command of the new golds. Again, I thought someone would object. They just stand watching me, waiting for my orders. All these praetors, all these politicians and sinewy men and women of war. I hold back a chuckle. Amazing the power you have when you're bloody up to the sleeves and none of it is your own. We escort the Archgovernor out of the forest. 3 times we're assailed, but I have Tactus take Augustus's cloak and lead some of the attackers on a wild goose chase. Rose petals of 1,000 shades fall from the trees as golds fight beneath them. They're all red in the end. The gang of 3 from House Foth try to ambush Tactus as he returns to the main body. He wheels on them, and with little help lays all but Lilith low. She scampers off as he kills Scipio and stomps on the dead man. Baby killers! He spits over and over till Victra pulls him away. I watch for the jackal. Every moment I expect a dart in the back, to die as Leto did. But the jackal merely follows, as does his father. No one saw what he did to Leto. Or if they did, their fear silences them. When we reached the stone halls beyond the forest, finally crossing a white limestone bridge, the rules of the society seemed to return. Low colours skitter out of our way as we, now 70 strong, storm through the halls to the hangars to leave this moon. But when we reach our hangar, we find that our ship is gone. We rush to the landing pads lined with trees and grass. All the family ships are missing. Society rip-wings patrol the sky. We question a shaking orange. Tactus holds him up by his collar. He shudders as he looks at us 70 bloody souls. He's never spoken to a gold before, much less ones like us. Victra knocks Tactus's hand away and speaks quietly to the orange. He says the ships were required to return home 2 hours ago. First, they don't let obsidians into the gala. Now this. Tactus mutters. That means the Sovereign planned something, says the jackal. A something that was never allowed to blossom. She removed our obsidians, our ships, to isolate the houses from their sources of power, he explains, eyeing the Telemanuses warily. Marooning us. What do you suppose she had up her little sleeves, father? Augustus ignores his son, looking to the sky. Mother mercy! Victor curses. Gather yourselves! Cavax bellows to his warriors. Piss on my face! Tactus goes pale beside me. I look up and see doom coming. Praetorians! 70 razors curl out, and we fan apart in case they have energy weapons. Darrow, you're with me, Augustus says. The enemy is little more than black dots in the night sky, but our eyes are keen. The dark bastards streak from the night clouds and impact the ground like fallen devils, always in their threes. Thump, 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 thump. They land between the trees on the grass, blocking our way back to the citadel. Obsidian Praetorians and gold knight captains. The Praetorian obsidians are titanic, like golems pulled from the stone of some mountain. Crueler by far than those we used at the academy. No armor like theirs in all the worlds. Dark purple, inlaid with black, like coral curling over their titan bodies. They stand in tight squad formation, loyal and bound to one another as they are to their faith. Thump, 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 till there are 99. Thump. Their golden commander lands last, on a knee. He rises, tall helmet, a laughing wolf skull. His cape of gold, emblazoned with the pyramid of the society, kicks sideways in the wind. An Olympic knight. There are 12 in the solar system, sworn to protect the compact of the society against all who defy it. This is the Rage Knight, the post Lorne filled for 60 years till he left for Europa. They represent what the Golds see as the dominant themes of man, the same as our schoolhouses. A man slighter than myself wears the armor, so the Sovereign's already filled Lorne's former post.
What can I do?
Declare yourself knight, I shout. The knight allows his helm to melt back into his armor. His flaxen hair falls over an ugly hatchet face. Wet from sweat, lined with age and stress. I bark out a laugh when he smiles out that side slash of a mouth. I draw stares. Now they'll only think me madder. The Rage Knight falls from the sky, and I laugh in his face. He cackles. Don't you recognize me, you little shit-eater? Fitchner! You look uglier than I remember. Fitchner? Tactus snorts. How nostalgic. Hello, boyo. Fitchner laughs at seeing Tactus in the Arch-Governor's cloak. Nice cape. but you're not Arch-Governor Augustus. Fitchner clucks his tongue and sets his hands on his hips. Arch-Governor! Arch-Governor! Darling, where the devil are you? The Arch-Governor rolls his eyes and steps past me. Proctor Mars? There's the darling. That's an old title, didn't you know? I see you have a new helmet. It is pretty, isn't it? The ladies love it. Can't remember when I was laid so much by golden stock. Fitchner moves his hips suggestively.
What do you...
It was such a bother getting it. Thought there'd never be an end to the duels and tests. We did it in front of the Sovereign, boyo. Each man, each woman making their case. Everyone who thought the post should be theirs. Time and again. But fortune favors the nasty. How... I wonder aloud. You beat everyone? Hardly. My Arch-Governor sneers. It goes to the great warriors. He strafes Fitchner with his eyes. Which you are not, Fitchner. What did you promise the Sovereign for your new helmet? I'm sure the price was high. Oh, I rode Darrow's star when he beat your boy. Hello, Jackal, you little rugrat. Then there was the gory damn contest, and, well, you can ask Tactus's eldest brother and Proctor Jupiter about the specifics. He strikes a pose. I'm more than meets the eye, eh? So you don't have a new master with the new helmet? Augustus asks. Master? Pah! Fitchner comically puffs up his chest. Olympic Knights have no master but our conscience. We defend the Society's compact, subservient only to duty. Once. Now you are the Sovereign's servants, Daxo declares. As are we all, my dear Telemanos. Fitchner replies. Great admirer of your brother and your family, by the by. Wonderful warhammer you carried at that tournament on Thebos. Gory damn scary lineage. I've always meant to ask, which of your ancestors screwed the rhinoceros? Daxo raises his eyebrows in delicate offense. Cavax grumbles, like Pax might have. Sorry, was it a grizzly instead? Fitchner grunts another laugh. A joke. Keen? We're all servants, though, eh? Gory damn slaves to the one with the scepter? I assume, then, your loyalty to Mars is gone and cannot be... remembered? Augustus asks. Since you're a servant. Fitchner claps his gloved hands together. Mars? Mars? What is Mars but a gory damn hunk of rock? It's done nothing for me. Mars is home, Fitchner. Augustus waves to those around us. The Sovereign bid you to find us? Well, here we are. Kin from your own planet. Will you join your loyalty to us, or will you give us up? Oh, you are a jokester, Augustus. A prime jokester. My loyalties are to the Compact and to myself, as yours are to yourself, my liege. Not to a rock, not to false kin, so do not waste your breath. Now, I've been told to place you and your kin under house arrest. You recall we set aside a prime villa for your pleasure? It'd be dandy fine if you could scamper on back there, enjoy our hospitality. Your Sovereign insists. You forget yourself. Augustus hisses. I forget much. Where I put my pants, who I've kissed, who I've killed. Fitchner touches his arms, his belly, his face. Well, forget myself. Never. He points to the obsidians around him. And I've certainly not forgotten my dogs. And where are mine? Where is Alfroon? I killed your stained mutts. Both of them. Fitchner smiles. They were barking, Augustus. Barking so loudly. Rage burns across Augustus's face. I hope they weren't expensive, boyo, Fitchner says with a smile. You speak as though we are familiars, Bronzy. We are familiar. As though we were equal. We are not equal. I am a descendant of the conquerors of the Iron Golds. I am the lord of a planet. What are you? I'm a man with a stun fist. He shoots Augustus in the chest. Augustus crumples backward as his praetors gasp. That'll show him not to wear his armor to Gallus. Now, Fitchner smiles. Who can I reason with? Me. The Jackal takes a step forward. I am heir to this house. Pass, you're creepy. He shoots the Jackal in the chest with the stun fist. Foolishness! Enough foolishness! Kavak steps forward, pushing his son back. Speak with me, Odara. It's plain enough, your intentions. Indeed. Darrow, you shall come with me. Like hell. Victress sneers, stepping in front of me. Fitchner rolls his eyes. Telemanus, you and your son take the Arch-Governor back to his villa and then return to your own. Matters must be sorted. Fitchner gazes quietly at the bald gold. His words now scrape out like raw iron on slate. This is not a request, Telemanus. Telemanus looks to me. My boy trusted this one. So shall I. I need your assurance my friends will not be hurt. I say to Fitchner. He looks at Victor. They won't be. Convince me. He sighs, bored. The Sovereign can't gory well execute an entire house absent a trial for treason, can she? That violates the compact, and you know how that would make us Olympic Knights feel? Not to mention the other houses. Remember how her father met his end. But if you resist, well, that's another matter entirely. Fitchner flips a piece of gum into his mouth. Do you resist? Not today, I say. Chapter 14. The Sovereign. Once upon a time, there was a family of strong wills, she says, voice slow and measured as a pendulum. They did not love one another, but together they presided over a farm. And on that farm there were hounds and bitches and dairy cows and hens and cocks and sheep and mules and horses. The family kept the beasts in line, and the beasts kept them rich, fat, and happy. Now, the beasts obeyed because they knew the family was strong, and to disobey was to suffer their united wrath. But one day, when one of the brothers struck his brother over the eye, a cock said to a hen, "Darling, matronly hen, what would really happen if you stopped laying eggs for them?" Her eyes burn into mine. Neither of us look away. Silence in the sparse suite, except the sound of rain at the windows of our skyscraper. We're among the clouds. Ships pass in the haze outside like silent, glowing sharks. The leather creaks as she leans forward and steeples her long fingers, which are painted red, a lone splash of color. Then her lips curl in condescension, accenting each syllable as though I were an Aegea street child only just learning her language. In so many ways, you remind me of my father, the one she beheaded. That's when she fixes me with the most enigmatic smile I may ever have seen. Mischief dances in her eyes, subdued and quiet beneath the cold trappings of power. Somewhere inside is the 9-year-old girl who infamously started a riot by throwing diamonds from an air car. I stand before her. She sits on a couch by a fire. Everything is Spartan, hard, cold. A gold woman of iron and stone. All this drabness, as if to say she needs not luxury or wealth, just power. Her face is creased, but not faded by time. 100 years, or so I hear, not cracked by the pressures of office. If anything, pressure has made her like those diamonds she scattered. Unbreakable, ageless. And she will be without age for some time longer if the carvers continue their cellular rejuvenation therapy. That is the problem. She will cling to power far too long. A king reigns, and then he dies. That is the way of it. That is how the young justify obeying their elders, knowing it will one day be their turn. But when their elders do not leave, when she rules for 40 years and may rule for 100 more, what then? She is the answer to that question. This is not a woman who inherited the morning throne. This is a woman who took it from a ruler who had not the courtesy to die in a timely fashion. For 40 years, others have tried to take it from her. Yet here she sits, timeless as those fabled diamonds. "Why did you disobey me?" she asks. "Because I could." "Explain." Nepotism shrivels under the light of the sun. When you changed your mind to protect Cassius, the crowd rejected your moral and legal authority. Not to mention you contradicted yourself. That in itself is weakness. So I exploited it, knowing I could get what I wanted without consequence. Aja, the Sovereign's favorite killer, broods in a chair near the window. A powerful panther of a woman, with skin duskier than her siblings, and eyes with slitted pupils. She is one of the Olympic Knights, the Protean Knight, to be technic. She was Lorne's last student before me, though he didn't teach her everything. Her armor is gold and midnight blue, and writhes with sea serpents. A young boy enters quietly from another room to sit beside Aja. I recognize him immediately. The Sovereign's only grandson, Lysander. No older than 8, but so very composed. Regal in his quiet, thin as a scarf. But his eyes are beyond gold, almost a yellow crystal, so bright they could nearly be said to shine. Aja watches me appraise the boy. She takes him onto her lap protectively and bares her teeth, their whiteness fiercely bright against her dark skin. Like a great cat playfully saying hello. And for the first time I can remember, I glance away from a threat. The shame burns hot and sudden in me. I might as well have kneeled to her. "But there are always consequences," the Sovereign says. "I'm curious. What did you want out of that duel?" "The same as Cassius Albulona. The heart of my enemy." "Do you hate him so much?" "No. But my survival instinct is enthusiastic. Cassius, as far as I am concerned, is a stupid boy crippled by his upbringing. His stock is limited. He talks of honor, but he stoops to ignoble things." "So it wasn't for Virginia?" she asks. "It wasn't to claim her hand or sate your jealous rage?" "I'm angry, but I'm not petty," I snap. "Besides, Virginia isn't the sort of woman who would stand for such things. If I did it for her, I would have lost her. You have lost her. Aja growls from the side. Yes, I realize she has a new home, Aja. Easy to see. Do you lash out at me, my goodman? Aja touches her razor. My good lady, I do but lash out. I smile slowly at her. She'll gut you like a pig, boyo, Fitchner says quickly. Don't give a piss if Lorne taught you how to wipe your ass. Think twice on who you insult here. The true blades of the society do not duel for sport, so mind your gory damn tongue. I touch my razor. He snorts. If you were a threat, do you think they'd let you keep that? I nod to Aja. Another time, perhaps. I turn back to the Sovereign, straightening. Perhaps we should discuss why you are holding my house under military guard. Are we under arrest? Am I? Do you see shackles? I look at Aja. Yes. The Sovereign laughs. You're here because I want you to be. An idea comes to me. I try not to smile. My liege, I should like to apologize, I say loudly. They wait for me to continue. My manners have always been provincial, and so I find the manner of my actions nearly always distracts from their purpose. The base fact is, Cassius deserved worse than what I supplied. That I disobeyed you was not meant as an insult by myself or the Arch-Governor. Were he not unconscious on account of your dog, I glance at Fitchner, I wager he would do what needed to be done to make amends. Make amends? She repeats. For the disturbance. She looks to Aja. Disturbance, he says. Dropping a dish is a disturbance, Andromedus. Helping yourself to another man's wife is a disturbance. Killing my guests and cutting off the arm of an Olympic knight is not a disturbance. Do you know what it is? Fun, my liege. She leans forward. It is treason. And you know how we treat with treason, Aja says. My father taught my sisters and me. Her father, the Ash Lord, burner of Rhea. Lorne despises him. An apology from you is insufficient, the Sovereign says. Apology? I ask. The Sovereign is caught off guard by my tone. I said I should like to apologize, but the problem is I cannot, because it should be you who apologizes to me. Silence. You little whelp, Aja says, rising slowly. The Sovereign stops her, words cutting clear and cold. I did not apologize to my father when I took his head from his body. I did not apologize to my grandson when his mother's ship was destroyed by outriders. I did not apologize when I burned a moon. So why would I apologize to you? Because you broke the law, I say. Perhaps you were not listening. I am the law. No, you're not. So you are a student of Lorne's after all. Did he tell you why he abandoned his post? His duty? She looks at Lysander. Why he abandoned his grandson? I did not know the boy was Lorne's grandson. My teacher's retirement makes sudden sense. He always spoke of society's fading glory, how men have forgotten themselves mortal. Because you saw what you have become, my liege. You are no empress. This is no empire, despite what you may think. We are the society. We are bound by laws, by hierarchy. No person stands above the pyramid. I look to our killers. Fitchner, Aja,
Hey, how
you
you
protect
doing?
the society. You ensure peace. You sail to the far reaches of the system to root out weeds of chaos. But above all else, what is the purpose of the 12 Olympic Nights? Go on, Aja says to Fitchner. Play into his mama's farce. I will not.
Talk to me.
Fitchner drawls out, to preserve the compact. To preserve the compact, I say. And the compact states, a duel, once begun, cannot reach resolution until its terms are properly fulfilled. The terms were death, but Cassius is not dead. His arm will not suffice. I honor the Iron Ancestors, and my rights stand inviolable. So give me what is mine. Give me the gory damn head of Cassius Albellona, or reject the legacy of our people. No. Then we have nothing more to discuss. You may find me on Mars. I turn on my heel and walk toward the door. The lion fades. The sovereign calls. Find a new home. Here. I stop in my tracks. These people are so bloody damn predictable. They all want what they can't have. Why? I ask without turning. Because I can give you resources Augustus cannot. Because Virginia has already seen how true that is. You want to be with her, don't you? Why would you want a man who so easily trades his allegiance? I turn and look Fitchner dead in the eye. Such a man is little more than a common whore. Augustus abandoned you before you abandoned him, the sovereign says. His daughter saw it even if you don't. I will not abandon you. Ask my Furies. Ask their father. Ask Fitchner. I give a chance to those who stand apart. Join me. Lead my legions, and I will make you an Olympic knight. I am an aureate. I spit on the ground. I am no trophy. I stalk away. If I can't have you, no one can. Then they come. 3 stained file through the door, each a foot taller than I, each garbed in purple and black and carrying pulse axes and pulse blades. Their faces hide behind bone-like masks. Eyes of killers, grown in the Arctic poles of Earth and Mars, stare out at me, glittering black like oil. I pull my razor and take my battle stance. Their throat-sung war chant rumbles under their masks, like the funeral dirge for a dead god. Go on, sing to your gods. I twirl my razor. I'll send you to meet them. Reaper, please stop. Lysander calls loudly. I turn to find him walking toward me, hands splayed plaintively. His coat is simple and black. He stands half my height. His voice floats, trembles like a delicate bird's. I have watched all your videos, Reaper. 6, maybe 7 times. Even the Academy. My tutors believe you are the closest man to the Iron Goals since Lorne Arcos, the Stoneside. That's when I realize why he looks so nervous. I almost laugh. I'm this little bastard's boyhood hero. We need not see you die tonight. Could you not find a home here, as you found with Severo, with Roke and Tactus and Pax, the Howlers, and all your great warriors? We have warriors too, noble ones. You could lead them, but... He steps back. If you fight, then you die because you make the mistake of believing righteousness puts you beyond my grandmother's power. It does, I say. Reaper, there is no place beyond her power. This is how it happens. They give them heroes. They raise them on lies and violence, and then they let them grow into monsters. What would he be without their guiding hand? He wanted to see you, the Sovereign says. I told him legend never matches fact. Better not to meet your heroes. And what do you think? I asked little Lysander. It all depends on your next choice, he says delicately. Join us, Darrow. Fitchner drawls. This is the place for you now. Augustus is done. Smiling inwardly, I relax my blade. Lysander clenches a fist happily. I pace with him back to his grandmother, playing along, but not yet proclaiming any allegiance. You're always telling me to bow, I tell Fitchner as I pass. He shrugs. Because I don't want you to break, boyo. Lysander, fetch me my box, the Sovereign says. Happily, the boy rushes out of the room as I sit across from his grandmother. I fear the Institute taught you the wrong lesson, that you can overcome anything if you but try. That is incorrect. In the real world, you must go along. You must cooperate and compromise. You cannot bend the world to your morals. Would you have noticed me had I not tried to? She smiles softly. Likely not. Lysander returns, moments later, carrying a small wooden box. He hands it to his grandmother and waits patiently by her side, eating a tart that Aja hands him. The Sovereign sets the box on the table. You value trust, so do I. Let us play a game, absent weapons, absent armor, no praetorians, no lies, no falsity, just us and our naked truths. Why? If you win, you may request anything of me. If I win, I get the same. If I ask for the head of Cassius, I will saw it off myself. Now, open the box. I lean forward, chair creaking. Rain patters on the windows. Lysander smiles. Aja watches my hands. And Fitchner, like me, has no idea what's in the bloody damn box. I open it. Chapter 15. Truth. It takes everything I am not to flee. What comes hissing from the box is pulled out of nightmare, pulled so perfectly out of the depths of my subconscious that I nearly think the Sovereign knows where I come from, where I truly come from. The game is one of questions, she says. Lysander, please do the honors. She hands her son a knife. The boy cuts the sleeve of my uniform to the elbow, rolling it back to expose my forearm. His hands are gentle. He smiles at me apologetically. Don't be afraid, he says. Nothing bad will happen so long as you don't lie. The carved creatures from the box, 2 of them, stare at me with 3 blind eyes apiece. Part scorpion, part pit viper, part centipede. They move like liquid glass, organs, skeleton visible through skin, chitinous mouths chattering and hissing at the same time as one slithers onto the table. No lies. I force a laugh. That's a breezy order when you're a child. He never lies, Aja says proudly. None of us do. Lies are rust on iron, a blemish on power. Power they're so drunk on, they can't even remember how many lies they stand upon. Tell my people you don't lie, you brutish bitch, and see what they do to you. I call these Oracles, the Sovereign says. One of her rings ripples liquid, forming a shell over her finger, turning it into a talon. Needle growing slowly at the end. With this needle, she pricks my wrist and says the words, "Truth over all." One oracle slips forward, skittering onto my arm, coiling itself around my wrist. Its strange mouth seeks the blood, latching on like a leech. Its scorpion tail arches 4 inches upward, drifting back and forth like a cattail in a summer wind. The Sovereign pricks her own wrist, repeats the oath, and the second oracle slithers from the box. Zanzibar the Carver designed this especially for me in his Himalayan laboratories, she says. The poison won't kill you, but I've cells filled with men who have played my game and lost. If there is a hell, what's in that stinger is as close to it as science has let us come. My pulse quickens as I watch the tail sway. 65, Aja says of my pulse. He was resting at 29 beats per minute. The Sovereign lifts her head at that. As low as 29? When are my ears wrong? Calm yourself, Andromedus, the Sovereign says. The oracle is designed to measure truth. It's in fluctuations of temperature, chemicals in the blood, pulse of the heart. You don't have to play if you don't want, Darrow. Asher purrs. You can go the easy way with the Praetorians. Death is not so bad. I glare at the Sovereign. Let's play. Would you assassinate me tonight if you could? No. We all watch the oracle. Eve and I. After a moment, nothing happens. I swallow in relief. The Sovereign smiles. This game doesn't have an end, I mutter. How do I even win? You make me lie. How many times have you played this game? I ask. 71. In the end, I've trusted only one other. Where does Augustus hide his unregistered electromagnetic weapons? Asteroid depots, hidden armories throughout Mars's cities. I list the particulars. And in the dais of this reception room. That surprises them. Where are yours? She lists off 60 locations in fast order. She tells everything because she's never lost. She's never had to worry about the information walking out the door. Such confidence. What does that Pegasus pendant mean to you? She asks. Is it from your father? I look down. It spilled out of my shirt. It means hope. Part of my father's legacy. Did you help Karnas at the academy? Yes. I gave him that ship he rammed you with. Did you really intend to launch yourself at his bridge? Yes. Why did you bring Virginia into your inner circle? The same reason you fell in love with her. My pulse quickens. Aja smiles, hearing it. Virginia is special. And we both come from fathers who left much to be desired. When I was a girl, I would have given anything to belong to a different family, but I was the daughter. When I asked him to play this game before becoming one of my Olympic knights, you know what he said? I can imagine. Fitchner? He shrugs his slumped shoulders. Told you to stick the box up your cooch. I'm not an idiot. I think it was even more crass than that. Aja grumbles. My turn. The Sovereign examines her Rage Knight. Did Fitchner violate his oath as a proctor and cheat at the Mars Institute, as rumor would have me believe? Yes, I say. watching the Oracle instead of my old proctor. He cheated like the rest. I know Fitchner would not have gained this post were she not sure of his loyalty to her, and not Augustus, which means Fitchner must have come clean and supplied her with details of Augustus's ill dealings. I glanced back at the man. Though I don't know if he was paid like the others. He wasn't. Their mistake, the Sovereign says. Gave us video evidence, audio, bank statements, useful leverage against each proctor. Several must have given his father the video footage when I had him tinkering with it. Crafty little bastard. He actually does care about his father after all. Augustus would kill them both if he knew about the duplicity. I want to interrogate the Sovereign about military outposts, supply lines, operational imperatives and security measures, but I know that would appear strange. It would lead to her asking strange questions of her own. The Oracle tightens slightly on my arm, sucking out only tiny drops of blood at a time. I don't know how well this thing can sense untruths, but what do I do if she asks me where I was born, who my father is, why I rub dirt between my fingers before I fight? Shit, she could just ask me if I'm a red. But how would she ever think to do that, unless I gave her the sense that something was off about me? Are any in my inner circle your spies? I asked. Very clever. No. Where did you go with Victor Augulii 3 days ago, and what did you do? The Sovereign asks. To Lost City. Somehow the Oracle senses I'm holding back. Its stinger trembles with excitement. To meet the Jackal, Augustus's son. It tightens further. To form an alliance. Sweat beads on my collar, and the Oracle relaxes, the answer sufficient. Why do they call Lorne Stoneside? He didn't tell you? It's not because he's tough as stone like they'd tell you now. It's because on campaign in the Moon Rebellion, he was famous for eating anything. And one day, a grey bet him he couldn't eat stones. Lorne doesn't back down. When did Lorne teach you? Every morning before first light, between my graduation from the Institute and enrollment at the Academy. Incredible no one found out. How many Peerless Scarred are there? I ask. Census data is so hard to come by. The Board of Quality Control is monstrous in hoarding its high-level material. There are 132,689 for nearly 40 million golds. Why did Lorne take you as a student? Because he thinks we're the same sort of man. What are your 2 greatest fears? Octavia, Aja warns. Shut up, Aja. All's fair. She looks over to Lysander and smiles. My greatest fear is that my grandson will grow up to be like my father. The second is the inevitability of age. Why did you cry when you killed Julian Albellona? Because he was kinder than the world let him be. Did you arrange Virginia and Cassius's courtship? No, it was her idea. I held on to hope that it was something arranged, something she had to do. Why did you sing the Red Ballad to Virginia at the Institute? Because she forgot the words, and I think it the saddest song ever sung. I pause before my next question. You want to ask about Virginia again, don't you? The corner of her lips twitch with pleasure as she plucks my pain. Do you want to know if I'll give her to you if you join me? It's possible. She is not a thing to be given, I say. She laughs, amused at my innocence. If you say so. Where are the 3 Deep Space Command Centers? I ask recklessly. She gives me the coordinates without blinking. How did you know the words to the Reaping Song? I heard it as a boy, and I forget little. Where? It's not your turn, I remind her. Why are you asking me these questions? Because one of my furies has led me to suspect the sons of Ares are perhaps something different than we imagined. Something more dangerous. Who is Ares? My heart thunders. I don't know. I watch the oracle's tail. It doesn't move. Who do you think Ares is?